Let's see. Check 1 2, check 1 2. I believe we are live. T is in the building. What's up, TT? Welcome in. Pooks, welcome in. Gur, welcome in. Richard, welcome in. DC, Gorillas fan, Punk, appreciate you tapping in, y'all. How y'all feeling today? Welcome in to the stream. Yakuma, welcome in. Sunny, I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Welcome into the stream, y'all. I appreciate y'all tapping in today. If y'all are coming in for the first time, I would love to know where you are joining from. I would love to know if you make music, what kind of music you make. And of course, we'll get into listening to some music and diving into some of that here in just a couple minutes. I'll explain the whole structure of the live stream, etc. Iker, welcome in as well. I appreciate you being here. Nahil, I appreciate you tapping in. My ping, welcome in. Ryan is in the building. Welcome in. The volume has it been an issue the last? Is it doing it again? I might just restart. Because I've been live the last couple days and it hasn't been an issue at all. Let me double check on my phone. I'll double check on my phone. It might be like a TikTok update or something like that. Give me a second. Let me know if anyone else is having that issue as well. Let me know, because I've been live the last couple days and it hasn't been an issue at all. So it's just very, very random. Very, very random. So let me double check over here. Let me double check. Da-da, da-da. Let me see. Check 1 2. Let me see. Okay, let me double check a few things here. I don't know why. I'm gonna check the other platforms as well. Give me just one moment. One moment. Krista, welcome in. I see you, Krista. Thanks for tapping in again. Give me 1 second, y'all. TikTok's being a little interesting, so just give me one moment. I might have to do a quick reset. Let me double check a few things. Yep, it's just TikTok. It is only TikTok that is having this issue. So let me double check a few things. Give me just one moment. Oh, I love technology. Let me try this again. Check 1 2. Let's see. Lawrence, thank you for the follow. How's it sounding? Is it the same? It's good now? It's better now all of a sudden? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Is it better now? Now it's good? What is going on? Because I'm not. I don't know what's happening. Okay, let's try this again. Check 1 2. Okay, so that's fine. Gosh, it's so interesting. It's so interesting on here. Okay, that should be better. That should be more like it. Just Joy, welcome in. Let me get out of here. That sounds fine. That sounds like it's doing what it's supposed to do. Sparrow's in the building. What's up, Sparrow? Welcome in. Yes, let me get the lineup. Give me 1 second. Let me get the lineup for y'all. Let me get that updated. Okay, perfect. I don't know. It's super random when stuff like this happens. It's usually just a weird glitch on TikTok because my settings aren't any different. I've been live the last couple days and it's been like normal. But let me update a few things here. Give me just one moment, y'all. Thank y'all for your patience as well. I will explain the live stream here in just like 2 minutes. I'm going to throw up the line right now on the other platform. So give me just one moment. I'll get those updated. And then once I get this updated, I will give y'all a full description of the live stream and what we're doing. So give me just 1 second. Let me get this updated. Let me see. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Boom. All right. All right, the lines should be up. I have some of the previous day that are up there already, and then we'll start bringing in some people from today as well. So I have the tracks that we have left, probably 6 to 8 tracks today, and then we'll get things flowing here. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to update this over here. Peace over profit. Welcome into the stream. I love the name. Let me get this refreshed and a couple other things updated here, and then we should ideally be ready to go. We'll be ready to go, ready to go, ready to go. 1 second, y'all. Thank y'all for your patience. I appreciate it. Retrack is in the building. What's up, Retrack? Um, Let me see. Retrack, I'm going to put you up. I'm going to boost you up. I have a different way to format this that tells us previous versus the people from before, so I can separate the listings out a little bit easier here. Retrack, I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. We have at least, we just got our first backup on the list right there. Spiro, you can see I have some of the people from the other day here, and then I have currents for today. Spiro, if you're a different name, on a different platform, let me know. That way I can make sure that I check your name over there as well. Y'all let me know. I've been having some kind of random audio issues, I guess, today. People are saying it's really quiet, but let me know if it's sounding okay now. I'm just double checking. Micah on TikTok. Okay, beautiful. Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure I double check the names back and forth. Miranda, it's fantastic to see you. Good to see you over here. I appreciate you tapping in. And then Spiro, let me know if you had a submission up on the board, or if it's or if I have it saved a different time, or if you're just chilling. Let me know, just in case. Okay, Naughty Jukebox, welcome in. Okay, sounds good. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something from the name the other day. Grady Finch is in the building. What's up, Grady Finch? Good day, Grady. I hope you're doing fantastic. Let's get some music rolling here. It is time to kick it off. It's time to get into some music. So for those of you who have never been here before, sounds good, Grady, dude. I love it. For those of you who have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. I appreciate y'all tapping into the stream today. This is an amazing community. Hopefully an amazing spot for you. For those of you who are coming in and, trying this live out for the first time. If you have never been here before, what we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive consultations into the structure of your music. Thank you so much for the heart me's. I appreciate it, Miranda and Libby. We go usually 2 or 3 different times through the structure of your song. We spend, like I said, 20 to 30 minutes getting into the details of your mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric and song structure. We dive into the nuances of what you're doing creatively and practically. So if that is something that would be interesting to you, that is the format of this live stream. This is not a quick review. There is no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It is a long form detailed analysis. So if you are wanting to get into the nuances and the details of what you do, that is the whole structure of this live stream. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to tear you down. I am not here to hype you up. I'm not here to give you exposure. Like I say every time we go live, if you get exposure, if the algorithm kicks in and you get a bunch of people loving your music, fabulous. It's just not the way that I structure the live stream. Is not my priority in doing what we do, but if that happens, fabulous. I think that's awesome. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So the structure of this live stream is pointed in that direction. We want to give you tools. We want to give you specific, practical, and actionable feedback. Even if you're phenomenal at what you do, we will listen to any genre, any style, any level of preparedness, any level of quality. Again, our goal is not to hear the best song. It is also not to roast you, like I mentioned earlier. I want to give value. Skyline, thank you for the follow. Our goal is to give value. It's to give actionable feedback, no matter where you're at. Now, if you're phenomenal at what you do and you have a bunch of credibility and incredible structure to what you're doing, then I also want to still talk about the hyper nuances of how you got there, so that everybody in the chat can learn something and pull something from your amazing experience as well. Okay, we're gonna start diving into some music, y'all. Let me just make sure that I'm updated. Make sure I got everything moving. Micah, I got you, Micah. Thank you so much for your submission. I appreciate you a lot. Let me get you rolling right here. Beautiful, beautiful. The line. Let me talk to you all about the line just really, really quickly, just because TikTok is they're a little bit interesting sometimes. So I have to be a little cryptic about our line and the order and stuff like that. If you'd like to see the line, go to the red or purple apps. We're live on 3 different platforms. You can find it on the other streaming platforms that we're live on right now. If you can find those at my profile, if you click on the link as well. Is this for organic artists? I don't know if I'm positive on what you mean by organic, but this is largely for underground, independent, newer artists, producers, engineers, musicians, stuff like that. So if you are a small artist, we're not basically saying we're not listening to Drake. We're not listening to Taylor Swift or something like that. The only time that we will listen to someone who's even a little bit more popular is if there is someone here in the chat that represents those people or was a part of their project. So we've had people that have come in that are agents and label owners owners and stuff like that are here, like sync agents and stuff like that, and they're here to showcase an artist that they're working on. Sometimes we get some sneak previews of some artists that are doing some really cool things before they hit release because we know their agents, their managers, stuff like that. We get some people that are session musicians and some really, really cool projects, right? We get people that are producers that were one of like the beat makers for a really cool artist. Sometimes we'll get those people that will submit so we can still kind of showcase what they're doing, strategically within the way that they build their products. But for the most part, the people that are submitting and coming in here are very underground. They're very, very independent, largely fairly small artists and producers, which is, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. If y'all want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through it and follow the details right there. And we'll get you up on the board. We'll get you moving in the right direction here. All of the information is at that link as well. Okay. Let me double check a few things. Retrack Micah, I got you. And I have a bunch in the previous section as well. So we're going to get some people rolling there as well. Shane is in the building. Shane, I got you. Thank you so much for your submission, man. I appreciate you a lot. Boom, you're ready to go. We're about to dive into our first song. We're going to get moving here. I'm going to do my best to move at a quick pace here. Quick being closer to the 20-minute side, not the 30 to 40-minute side of the consultations. Okay, so Retrack Micah, Shane, we're in the building. Retrack, I'm pulling up your track right now. You are going to kick us off. You are going to kick us off today. So let me get this pulled up right here. And let's dive into some music. Once again, if you're on TikTok, make sure that you're tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart me. It really does help out the live stream quite a bit. And let's dive into some music. We got Retrack in the building. This is a textural composition I'm working on, not part of the Gothic EP, but let me know if you have any ideas I can add to it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. This is the family, Retrack Beats, who's right here in the chat. You can see him on TikTok. Let's get into it. I like the Foley. Got you, Nova. Got you. Thank you, man. I feel like I can already see the scene. Got you, man. Thank you so much, Nova. I appreciate you. Let me get you up here. Really interesting sound design, man. I love when you work with stuff like this, Retrack. Definitely where I feel like I sense your creativity the most. Where'd you get these vocals as well? Nice. Very cool. Sound design's really cool, man. Really, really interesting. Richard, if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link. All the details are there. Tons of character and texture. Beautiful, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That is Retrack Beats, who's right there in the chat over on TikTok. One of the best mods in the West. Show some up to Retrack Beats. This it's so fun hearing Retrack because he's so incredibly versatile. I mean, you'll hear something like this. I think the last track that you sent in was like a trap beat. Before that, it was lo-fi. Before that, it was house. Before that, it was like a gothic vampires like scene in a movie. It's with like harpsichords and pipe organs and stuff like that. The absolute crazy amount of variety of skill and sound design choices that you have is just so fun to listen to. You really have a strength with this stuff, though. I feel like the really engaging, really interesting, like dark, moody, cinematic sound design to me is just one of the things you do really, really well, really, really consistently. So let's get into it. We'll talk a little bit of sound design. We'll talk maybe a little bit of like balancing and stuff like that. But this is great, man. I love when you work on stuff like this. I love it, love it, love it. So let's run it from the top. This is Raven's Ritual by Retrack Beats. It is 76 BPM and it's in E minor. Let's get it. I'm gonna maybe back it up. Let me back it up for a second. I know, me too. Me too. If you want to send, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board. If y'all want to check the line, see where things are at, you can always do that on the other platforms that we're live on, which you can also find on my link as well. All right, let me run it from the, okay, this quick vocal right here. So I love, their sound design is so interesting, right? Where you have this beautiful space and its distance, right? And again, I'm going to speak past some intention because there might be things that you're looking for specifically. That is the way that you've processed it. So I'm going to kind of dig into it a little bit, but you can obviously love the copies. It is very nice. You can push back a little bit just because there might be a particular tone and mix that you're going for that is different than the way that I'm perceiving things. So as you always know, feel free to ignore some of it. You have this great distance from some of these like timpanis and like, galloping and stuff in the background. Some of like the Foley and other like soundscape stuff that you have that's really interesting. Also love these like low string pads that you have as well. Like it sounds really, really cool. I feel like I can already picture the whole thing. It sounds really, really engaging. I would maybe pull that vocal back kind of into that space a little bit more. I feel like it's a little bit forward and direct compared to just how much like space and ambiance we have. And that makes it feel a little bit more of course it does, but like a little more recorded, where it's like everything else, I sense the space, I can see the environment, and then that vocal sounds like a recorded vocal, like right down the middle, like really, really forward. I would love to kind of like maybe pull it back by 3 or 4 dB, maybe even a little bit more, maybe even a little more reverb, like maybe set it into space just a little bit more so that it feels more connected to the environment that you're creating and like the atmosphere that you're creating, as opposed to where some of that fully is, and then that vocal feeling very like clean, clear right in the front. Just something to think about, not right or wrong, but just something to kind of dissect a little bit on your own. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Let me run it from the back again. Let's see. Carbon, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Very cool. I mean, I like this so much, man. It's eerie, it's moody. Exactly. Even here, I'm curious. Okay, so we're going to talk again, like little production details, right? Little production. Sivan, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Again, great movement, great atmosphere, great presence behind all of these, interesting elements that you have in your sound design is gorgeous. I love your choices here. You have this bass that comes in really, really direct. It's on the 4, kind of based on your minor key. It's on the 4, right? So that bass comes in and it's very flatlined as far as like the rigidity of how it sits in the mix, right? right there. Even that, I would love some very, very light, like maybe even like LFO, a little bit of movement, a little bit of pitch changing, a little bit of inconsistent, like saturation in there that makes it feel like it's a little bit more alive. Then all of a sudden we have, and it kind of hits you right down the middle. I would love for that, even that to have just a little bit of move. I think a slight LFO, slight modulation, very, very little like movements. I think would make it feel even more like authentic, even though it's like a heavy synth, right? Like a heavy bass synth right there. It'll make it feel a little bit more a part of the picture just by giving it some variation that doesn't feel too static, right? When it comes in and it's just like locked in MIDI, boom, right there from start to finish. I think it'll give it a little bit more nuance, make it feel a little bit more interesting. So I think the more that you kind of play, you have a lot of great movement and atmosphere and Foley and stuff that's moving left to right. You got a lot of really interesting movement in this track already. So just my suggestion would be to make sure that there's nothing that pulls you out of that, whether it's the vocal being too forward, whether it's like the bass being too static. It would be nice in order to make sure like that vocal sits in the atmosphere a little bit better. Make sure that like the kind of the static nature of that bass then gets maybe a little bit of modulation, a little bit of LFO that kind of moves it in and out a little bit, gives it a little bit more kind of pitch shifting and stuff like that, so it doesn't feel too on the nose. And again, these are slightly stylistic choices as well. You can do this obviously however feels most authentic to your vision for the track, but that's something I'm kind of listening for with how like natural and organic and atmospheric everything else feels, specifically like with your Foley and stuff. Like I'm imagining this kind of like medieval, almost like I'm watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms right now. So that's fresh on my brain, right? The Game of Thrones spinoff. I'm watching that right now, right? And that's what I'm like picturing. That's what's like what I'm like picturing. Like when I hear this early Foley stuff and I hear like the horses and stuff, I hear the bell toll. That's the environment that I'm picturing. That's kind of where I'm placing. I hear like ravens in the background doing their caw and stuff like that. What's up, Bill? Welcome in, Bill. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing amazing. I hear a lot of that extra stuff in the background right there. So that's where I'm like, okay, don't do anything that pulls me out of that, because immediately as soon as you started this track, I'm set in a world, that's brilliant scoring. Like that's the superpower of a good composer and a good score, is as soon as you hear the music, you're set in space, you're set in the environment. So those are some things I would look for, right? Don't, your test will always be, is there anything that I'm doing that would like pull me out of the environment for a second, whether that's too forward of a vocal, whether it's too static of a bass, what can we do to shift this a little bit and make sure that everything's really cohesive and is all pointed in the same direction. I would love to, Jesse. I would love to. Yeah, if anyone wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through all the details there. The American Indie. No, this is a Neumann M147 tube. M1. I have a 102. Not my favorite mic, but I do have a 102, but this is an M147 tube. Again, all of this background texture is gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Really, really well done. Thank you for the follow, Siobhan. Appreciate it. I mean, this is great for like like edits, like the world of edits on TikTok and stuff like that. This is great for stuff like that. It's great for stuff like that. It's really, really well done. Same thing, and kind of sits right there the whole time. That's where, again, in my brain, I want you to like feed in just a light little LFO to give it some like slow dipping in a maybe amplitude or even pitch that just makes it feel a little bit more alive, a little bit more modular. It doesn't feel too, even unless that's like your intention, that's kind of what you're looking for. But that's kind of where I'm fitting, is like you have these really beautiful organic textures here, and that's very strict in the way that it cuts into the mix. And I would love for it to just ebb and flow a little bit, move very, very lightly in the back of the mix there, especially as it is a very prominent element in the mix. Love these vocals too. See, that has so much play. The heavy reverbs, massive delays in the background, lots of like texture in those background like guitars and synths and stuff like that. So if there's anything that pokes its head out and in being like too strict, make sure that has some movement, has some modulation to it. RC20 is great for stuff like that. I mean, RC20, because it has a couple you can choose between, kind of like transformer bass. You can choose between tube. You can choose between just like a solid state crunch. You know what I mean? So I think RC20 is great for stuff like that, because then you can also, you could put it in stereo mode and give it a little bit of modulation and wobble as well. So there's there's a couple options from RC20 that could give you maybe a little bit of that movement that you're looking for. You can also do, I don't know if it's magnetic mode on the far right side. I'm not positive. I think it's magnetic or something like that. I can't remember exactly right now, where you can give it tape inconsistencies, right? So some of that warble, some of that dipping and stuff like that, some like little edits in the way that it like hatches. You could do some of that on RC20 as well. That might give you a little bit of that kind of inconsistent. It'll stutter a little bit. It'll dip and pitch for a second like a tape. It'll like a magnetic tape. It'll give you some of that ebb and flow that maybe you're looking for. And then you can always saturate on there. You could filter on there. You can make it a little bit more like bit crushed. You can add in a little bit more, kind of, a little bit more, a little more bite to it if you want to. And you can also add, there's reverbs on there and stuff like that too. So RC20, I mean, I love RC20. I use it all the time just because it's good to like do like an all-in-one processor that gives you some bite, gives you some crunch, where you can really mix it in. You can choose kind of the frequencies in different pockets as well. Jenna, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you being here today. But yeah, little things like that. Really cool sound. The low formant shift, like the low octave right there. Beautiful. I love all of that. That's nasty. Someone said Dune earlier. That reminds me a lot of Zimmer's, productions, in like the, first and second Dune, right? Which third one's coming out soon. But like that's, it does give me a lot of that same texture, right? I can see it. Whether it's like medieval or it's like something like that's a little bit more like dystopian. I can really see the environment just by listening to it. I'm imagining where it's placed. I think that's a superpower. It's really, really well done. I don't think there's drums in this one yet. This one might be very scene. It's like kind of, specific scoring. It's very like scene specific. You have these early timpanis. Come on. You have some like early timpanis and stuff like that, but kind of depends on the structure. If anybody wants to send in their music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the steps right there. You'll see everything that you need right there. Just do make sure that you do follow both steps. There's 2 steps to submit, so make sure you follow them both. If you do follow both, I'll get notified and I'll get you up on the board. There's a couple people that said they sent an email. It's not just an email, so I do want to make sure that y'all do read through all those details so I can get you up there with everyone else that we have in line currently speaking. Rokusai, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, that makes sense. Find you a good producer then. You can describe some of the atmosphere that you want, some of the styles that you want, and then hopefully a good producer can bring it bring it to life. It's like even here, I hear that crunch in the back. I hear that just distortion, that modulation in the background. I love everything about it. It's so nasty sounding. And then I'm rehashing this, but it's a little strict at the front, right? A little strict at the front when you're doing those walk downs off the minor, right? So those little two, I think like the vocal structure being too forward, and then some of the static elements of this mix that don't have as much movement, creating a little bit of life and movement to them, and maybe even like pulling them back by a dB and a half, 2 dB. I think could help connect everything in this mix a little bit better, but it's beautifully structured, man. I can't wait to hear more of this world. If you're digging into more of this world, if you want this to be a part of an EP or some kind of a scene that you're setting, this is great, man. It's really interesting sound design, and I like it a lot. Some of my favorite like cinematic stuff that you've done. Now, the Vampires Gala is something special to me. That will always hold like a special place in my heart because that was one of the first like cinematic scores that I had heard from you. I'd heard some small early stuff that you had done for a while, but that was one of the first. I was like, oh damn, he's got like you've got an ear for this stuff. This is great. I like this a lot, man. Rose said, always modulate your modulations to modulate your modulations, getting modulating modulation. That's a fact. Actually, that's scientifically proven. I love it. I love it, man. Super cool, man. It's really, really cool. Y'all give it up one time for Retrack Beats. Show some love to Retrack Beats. You know the deal, man. We love and appreciate you so much. You're wildly talented. You're an impressive composer. I know this is still early-ish in its process, but this is really, really well done. I do agree with the decision in this particular scene that you're setting, not to have like overt, like big cinematic drums. I don't think every track needs that, right? It depends on the scene. It depends on the intention. It depends on the mood that you're setting and the table that you're setting here. But in my opinion, for the scene that I'm imagining, where you give some of those early, dynamics early on, I feel like this is beautiful, and I think you're setting a really, really interesting scene. And I feel like your dynamics are great. You get a really, really broad spectrum of energy and dynamics here, different sounds, different energies. You do have some push and pull between some heavier elements, some lighter elements, heavy bass, emptying out like for some of these little pockets in here. I mean, this is great dynamics, man. It's really, really, really interesting. Besides Dune, what should I put this to? I mean, man, I would look at some. I don't know if you've watched. We're still in the middle. We're still in the middle of watching it, so I haven't seen it all yet. But we're in the middle of watching Night of this. Is it Night of the Seven Kingdoms? I think is what it's called. It's the spinoff of Game of Thrones. So I think like scenes from that I think would be great. Now you have 3 different shows to choose from in that world. I do feel like that would be a good one where you're kind of set medieval or past, in some cases, like, thousands of years ago. I think stuff like that would be really interesting. Dune is obviously a good one. Because you're introducing some of like the heavier synthesis that I think works really well for, Dune and some of the more modern, almost like Vangelis style production, in that kind of 2048 world. But yeah, I think looking like medieval and around that realm, I think would be really interesting. Game of Thrones scenes, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, House of Dragons, stuff like that. I think would be really interesting. And then of course you can always go the Dune world as well, because you have 2 movies now. You got spin-off shows. You got a lot of heavy scenes to kind of work with there as well. Assassin's Creed is great. I've never played it, but yeah, it's a huge game, and I think there's more coming out if I'm not mistaken. I just always see ads for stuff. Yeah, I think that world. But again, we're talking, Valhalla. We're talking more. I mean, there's some older. There's some like Viking shows. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Like for me, it's like, how can we look past and then build sound design to fit it? And I think this is perfect for that kind of stuff. I think it's perfect for that stuff. Y'all show some love. I agree. Mastery is often more restrained with these cinematic scores. And when another thing asks for big drums, then it has massive impact. 100%. I agree. Nicole, welcome in. I appreciate you tapping in. Anomaly, appreciate you being here as well. Y'all please show some love to the family. To the family. Retrack Beats right here. He's one of our mods. He's one of the family. He's a friend. Please show some love to Retrack. He also sells beats. So if you're looking for productions, to be honest, in any style, hip hop, trap, EDM, house, lo-fi, this stuff. If you're looking for interesting productions, and this is someone you should definitely keep an eye on and an ear on. Show some love to Retrack Beats in the building. All right, let's keep moving through the music here. We've got Micah in the building. Micah, hop in the chat. Just let me know that you're here. Quick reminder, if you would like to submit for these 20 to 30-minute consultations where we're diving into the details of your song, we're getting into the mix, production, sound design, lyrics, stuff like that, then definitely go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go, along with everyone else. We got Micah, Shane, and Nova from today, and a couple people lined up from yesterday that we'll add back into that list as well as they come back in. But if you would like to submit, these are 20 to 30 minutes long. We listen to your song multiple times to get into the mix, production, sound design, lyric, and song structure, if that's a part of the build out that you have. We're going to spend some time on it, and we're going to really get into those details. So if you're interested, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through all of those details. Micah's in the building. We're ready to go. If you want to check the line order minimum, anything like that, that is all on the other platforms that we're live on. You can go and check that at any time over at my link as well. We're live on 3 platforms, so you can kind of see the other details there as well. We've got Bo. Let me see. Hold on. And then, did I get Nova? Yes, I did. Beautiful. Okay. And I'm looking for Micah. All right, no name yet. This is very much a demo. Okay, I got the message here. So this one is pretty experimental with the rhythm compared to what I normally do. I try to layer all sorts of different rhythms in the percussion and the pad, so it may seem a little disjointed, but the instrumental is all very intentional. Like the email said, vocals are definitely a weakness. I think I can make even the existing recording sound better, more supported, but I'm not sure how to do that from a design or mixing standpoint. Okay, let me read through briefly really quick on this email. Let's see. Only one verse, very early in development. This is an early demo. Only one verse is written and partially recorded along with the first chorus. The main thing I'm struggling with is bringing presence to the vocals in the verse. It feels empty / thin. I'm having trouble really making it shine. I plan on re-recording it so I can get a better recording. Sure, that's part of it. But I think I need some more some mixing advice for the vocals. Also, if you could give feedback on the overall structure and mixing of the track, that'd be great. Beautiful. I love it. This doesn't have a name, so this is just File. the song name is File. But this is an early demo from Micah. Let me get this download. Give me just 1 second while it kicks in. If y'all are over on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen like crazy. Share out the live with a few people you think would value what we do. And don't forget to send your heart me. It really does help out the live stream as well. Okay, let me get this downloaded. Rams, welcome in. Let's get this over here. All right, let's go, Micah. Let's get into it. And this is all your production vocals, right? This is all you? Beautiful.
We're on a crash course and I'm with it till the end. Oh, I'll be the one for you again.
Nice little 5/4. That's cool. I love a different time signature. That's great. This little 5/4 is a good little movement.
These currents ebb and flow as we're dancing on the sand. My misfortunes, my transgressions melt away if you call my name. I'll climb higher to feel your essence, 'cause I won't stop till I find the truth. And no, I never learned my lesson, that the higher I climb is the further I fall for you.
No, you're good. Tons of, I like a lot of the things you're doing here. It just needs separation and clarity. So we can work on that. That's very accomplishable. You just need some separation. This little pocket's great. Welcome over to the Red App, Nova. Appreciate you. I like it. Are you planning to keep this instrumental or another verse and hook? Let me know. Let's go. Y'all show some love to Micah. Let's dive straight back into it. Martin, thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. If anyone over on any of the apps that we're live on would like to submit your music for a detailed consultation like we're getting into here, go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow those details there. We'll get you up there. If you want to check the line, it's on the other platforms we're live on. Let's get into it. We're going to run this from the top. I really like this feel. I'm going to have Micah said, I'm going to have a second verse, one more chorus, and a third chorus, alternate lyrics after the drum breakdown. Okay, so So this is still going to be, like we mentioned earlier, this is an early demo. This is still going to be built out a little bit more later down the road. Dylan, thank you so much for the roses. Mr. D, I saw that earlier. Thank you for that. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, so this still has a little bit of build out that's going to happen here. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into some of the details here, and let's chop through a couple things. Of course, one of the main things being vocal production, making sure that has space. But half of the vocal production to me is making sure that there's just space for those vocals to exist. Not that they just need to be beefed up, maybe rebalanced a little bit, but it's also just making sure that there's elements within the production. If you want to keep all those, different rhythmic structures there, if you want to keep all those elements in there, then we just need to make space in the mix for that vocal to exist. Because if there's not space, it's just going to sound muddy and busy and noisy, not necessarily like it's like full and vibrant, right? And it's a fine line between the two. Okay, let's run it back from the top. Not being able to get verse 1 where I wanted is discouraging me from recording more. I feel that makes sense. When you're talking about verse 1, are you talking about like your performance of the vocal or just the mix on your vocal itself? All right, let's run it from the top. Let's get into it, man. Both got you. What's really cool is, so this is all in 6/8 technically speaking. This is all in 6/8, which is really, really cool. So like the energy behind the structure right there, it feels very grounded and really consistent. That's a little twist, really grounded and consistent, a little twist. So having that 6/8 in there, I think it's a really, really, or like a 4/2. It's a really, really nice structure. It sounds very familiar and very interesting, but also has like some interesting character and texture here. I'm gonna run from the top real quick. Check. Yeah, that's just probably a TikTok glitch for a second. I'm going to back it up here a little bit. So a lot of what I'm hearing here is just balance, right? So having space for what is kind of your lead elements. You have this kind of lead element over 4, 5, 6, right? Or 4, 5, 1 over 3. I'm going to go down. Right? That's like your loose structure right there. And that is a really, really good progression and a good structure. And I like this lead melody a lot. This kind of sitting over the top. Move forward a little bit. That to me, you really need a good instrumental hook here as well, not just the percussion and percussive movements. So in my opinion, I'd probably bring back, welcome back, Jenna. Lan, thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. I'd probably bring back some of your hats, some of the other percussive elements that you have, rely on like your kick and snare and fills with the hats, but they're not too forward, right? Bring some of your hi-hats down by just a couple dB, 2, 3 dB, so they're not slicing into the mix too much, and bring this melody right there in the background, bring that forward a little bit so it's actually one of the main synth elements that you hear as a lead melody. So you're not hearing just chords and 3 or 4 different pads in the background and the percussion with interesting like rhythmic structure and signature right there, moving around a whole lot. And then you kind of barely hear what is actually the lead melody of the song being the... Oops. That lead melody is so distinct and it's so well done that if that's too far in the background, I feel like you actually lose one of your main hooks of this song that's kind of settled into the background right there. Piano Tuner, thank you for the share. And Lens, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you a lot. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. If anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through it and follow the details. We'll get you up on the board.
Course, and I'm with it till the end. Oh, I'll be the one for you again and again. You're magnetic for forces, they ripple and they bend me.
For this style as well, I do think it would be nice to have a double on your vocal, a double on your vocal for most of the hook. Right now, I think part of what I'm hearing is not even like you have a very like chill, like laid back vocal structure. I don't mind that because it sounds very chill. It sounds very laid back. The thing that I'm just noticing is that it just doesn't have support. So I do think that a like actual double of that vocal that sounds really tight, really connected to that vocal so that it has good clarity, good separation. It has good support in the structure of the mix. Even if it's really chill, not necessarily a harmony, but matching your exact melody structure there. I do think that would probably just make the vocal sound a little bit more interesting and less just kind of like dry and on the nose, right? I'm gonna back it up just a little bit here. I recommend Get My Vocal Suite. It's a fantastic vocal mix plugin that gives you all the settings you need for wide and great vocals. There you go. There you go. There you go.
One for you again and again. Your magnetic forces, they ripple and they bend me. These currents ebb and flow as we're dancing on the sand. My misfortunes, my transgressions melt.
The 6/8 count to me is really, really. I think I mentioned 5/4 earlier. I think most of this is a 6/8. That movement right there is really engaging. It kind of keeps you on your toes in the structure here because it sounds like you're starting off of on a 4/4, but then you get this early reintroduction of some of the other rhythms. I think that's really engaging and really interesting to listen to. Yeah, as far as like the vocal goes here.
You again and again. Your magnetic forces, they ripple and they bend me. These currents ebb and flow as we're dancing on the sand. My misfortune.
I could hear this because you have an interesting tone to your vocal too. A really like interesting, it's got this almost kind of like, really chest supported open sound that I think is really interesting. I think part of it is there's a little bit, totally agree, the potential this design is making me really careful with how I sing it. Yeah, I don't mind that you're a little bit more strict with your melody choice right here. Da, 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 da. It's very lined up and it's very, very strict in the way that you're actually, executing each of those melodies. I just think you probably need to get into some like interesting textures on the vocal processing side that doesn't make that feel too direct. Everything else is like set in this beautiful space. It's really open, it's wide, it's left and right. It's in 6/8 with like a 4/4 initial signature. So it feels interesting to listen to. And then that vocal just comes in very like dry, right? Like it's very dry, it's very forward. There's not a lot going on to it, which is why I think that like a double or even a doubler potentially, but a double or a doubler, maybe even some like a really like a slow modulation chorus on there could be really interesting. Just connect your vocal back to how you're producing and how you're perceiving the rest of your like instrumental here, which is interesting. It's really engaging and it has all these kind of interesting pockets in it. And then the vocal again is like very forward, very dry, and there's not a lot of like nuance to it, right? It's just kind of right there in front of you. So I would love to hear just a little bit more interesting texture to that vocal. I think when you bring in the harmonies, that helps. I think the harmonies definitely help bring out a little bit more color and texture in there. But in the grand scheme of this production, when it's solo, when it's on its own in mono, you don't really get a lot of other support from it. So I do think it could be helpful to just open it up just a little bit as well. D Hall, welcome in. Julia, thanks for tapping in as well. Vincent, I appreciate you joining the stream. If you would like to submit, everything's at my profile. If you click on the link, just read through and follow those details there. We'll get you on the board. The line order minimum is on the other platforms that we're live on, which you can also find on my link as well. All right, let's keep it running.
My transgressions melt away if you call my name. I'll climb higher to.
And let's get into the balancing of this this hook right here. So yeah, I do think that having a little bit more processing. So like, whether that's a chorusing, a double on that vocal, maybe a nice, fairly tight, but maybe like a tight little bright plate reverb at the back end of the vocal right there. Could be nice to just opening this up a little bit so it doesn't feel too dry and in front while you have all this other space around you. And then again, we mentioned a little bit of this earlier, so I can move through this fairly quick. In the background where that vocal sits, where you have on your hook, you have all the production. You reintroduce a couple other layers of hi-hats and shaker and stuff like that. Those to me, Blues Room, thank you so much for the follow. Those to me are part of what is kind of interrupting your vocal structure and filling in some of the space where I want that vocal to sit. We mentioned this earlier in the intro as well. I think you should keep all of these different rhythmic structures that you have that are really interesting. They're engaging, they're quirky. I like that a lot. Makes the song really have its own identity. Keep that there, but just work on the balancing, right? So I do think that some of those hats can probably come down maybe by 2 or 3 dB. There's some pads in the background too, some brassy synths. What's up, Sour? Welcome in. Some brassy synths that I think you could probably create some space in their EQ, maybe even some strategic mid-side processing to get some things kind of out of the middle channel where that lead vocal sits for the most part, and maybe reintroduce some of those frequencies around the outside in the full stereo. That way you can kind of wrap around that vocal a little bit, but they're not interrupting that space where that vocal exists. Stuff like that I think would be really helpful to creating some space. The vocal could also just probably be a dB and a half, 2 dB louder, right? So it actually sits a little bit more towards the top end as opposed to it kind of diving into the background. But before you start cranking the vocal to get it over the top of the mix, focus on creating space. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Focus on creating space, right? I think that should be your priority, not just getting into a noise battle and trying to force things over the top end of the mix. I'd rather you pull some of these things, move them out of the way of the vocal, work on your positioning, work on your panning, work on your EQ curves in order to make sure that there is plenty of space for that vocal to exist without too many interruptions or too many other synths and pads and stuff stepping on the toes of where that vocal exists. Because I don't think it's doing a lot of things wrong. I just think there needs to be room for it. The chorus I would say is the most processed. I have a double and an octave double on it as well. A parallel harmony recording. Okay, I got you. Yes, the line, the order, the minimum is on the other platforms that we're live on, which you can also find at my link as well. So if you go to my profile, go to the link. We're live on the other popular streaming platforms. You can find it over there as well. What do you know about Midwest emo? I've worked with a couple cool Midwest emo songwriters and producers and artists and stuff like that. Consulted with them many different times. A-Rap, thank you for the follow. Is it a good genre? Yeah, I literally think all genres are good genres, and they're good genres to someone for a very specific reason. So there's gonna be someone who hates opera and someone who's been obsessed with it. There's gonna be someone that hates country and someone else who adores the storytelling. Someone who hates like modern trap music and someone else who thinks it's something that like really engages them, right? So I think every single genre is valid. It is good, and it has an audience for somebody. So I don't think anyone should be worried about the style of music they make, the era of music that they emulate, stuff like that. I think you just make what you love and then focus on finding the right audience and pointing people in the direction of your music. Rose said a nice vocoder on the vocal on ascend, just tucked into the background down the middle can be a nice lush texture. Yeah, you can use Harmony Engine for that as well. What's up, Cameo? Good to see you, man. Connie, welcome in. You can use in Harmony Engine, you can use like MIDI input from Harmony Engine to create harmonies based on your MIDI input and stuff like that. Antares also has a vocoder that you can use as well. Forget exactly what it's called. I don't use it too often, but yeah, there's some like really easy like MIDI input vocoders that have a lot of like really interesting sound design that you can do, kind of Enya style stuff that feels like it has like really interesting chord structure and texture. You have that on a bus on the outside or an aux on the outside. You can add a bunch of interesting effects to that and filters and choruses and modulation and stuff like that. It could be very interesting.
Misfortunes, my transgressions melt away if you call my name. I'll climb higher to feel
What's up, Jay Steele?
your essence, 'cause I won't stop till I find.
So like right here, yeah, you just lose the lead, right? It feels like it's thinned out a little bit. It might be a separate vocal, separate EQ curves. It does feel like it's thinned out a little bit. So reintroduce some body back into that vocal. Don't pull out too much of those like mids and low mids. Make sure there's plenty of presence and plenty of energy behind that vocal performance. Get it forward in the mix, especially what you're kind of determining as your primary lead. Get it forward in that mix just a little bit more as well. Another 2 dB or so, without it being too thinned out, like we already mentioned. And then some of those background elements that we're talking about as well, right? Some of the hi-hats and shakers that come in, they're very transient, they're very bright, so they slice into the mix. And that's not specifically a bad thing, but it's just stepping on the toe of that lead vocal and some of the other harmonies that you have. So I just think think that those can come back by a couple dB. You can reposition some of your gain staging and some of the energy that you're portraying with the vocals that you already have in the background. You can just reposition some of that, regain stage a little bit so that they're not fighting for the same space. And then if you need additional space, just send like all of your, have a full instrument bus and have like a mid-side EQ. Fab Filter is great for stuff like this. Have like a mid-side EQ that you have on a full instrument bus. And then if you want to get a little bit more clarity, I tend to take too much low mid out because my voice is pretty heavy in that range. Yeah, so it's just a sweet spot, right? Some of it is just kind of training your ear, right? Training your ear a little bit too, where you're like, man, my voice is a little bit boomy. For one, check proximity, maybe back off the mic by another 4 inches or so you can diffuse a little bit more of that low end energy, reduce the proximity effect on your microphone, like whatever it may be, right? You can reduce that a little bit by just backing off the mic by about 3 dB. I've worked with a lot of like really heavy, deep, vocals and stuff like that. You can mitigate a lot of the issues that you have with that by just allowing some diffusion. Step back from the mic a little bit, right? Like the difference between me being right here on the mic and me being back here, that proximity is going to make a huge difference in the amount of low end energy that we get in the mix just by default of proximity. And that might give you a little bit more control. So proximity is going to be, one factor in that. The other side is just EQ, right? So if you feel like, man, I'm pretty boomy in the slow range, I need to reintroduce some life, then yeah, you might be just pulling that 100 to 300 hertz down a little bit too far where you're losing a little bit of texture and character in your natural vocal. Start by backing off and then reintroducing. Horror, thank you for the follow. Back off the mic a little bit, which might thin it out a little bit more than you're used to since you're already pulling some shelves down there a little bit farther down, and then reintroduce some life there back into the mix so that it feels a little bit more connected and it feels a little bit fuller, has a little bit more body to it. Okay, let me get back into this and we'll close it up here in a second. Does your name start with a D? Does it start with a D, Horror Scene? Thank you so much. I appreciate you tapping it. I think I have 2 actually. I need to look at here in a second. It might be one from another platform. So let me double check it here in a minute. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through, follow the details there. Same with the reverb choices. If you are in the lower register, picking brighter plate reverbs can help with masking heaviness 100%, and also EQing those reverbs too. Some of them, some reverb plugins have, some EQs and some filtering baked into the plugin itself. But if you have that reverb on an aux, you can also just add an EQ to it and make some small changes to the tonal qualities of the reverb. You could add modulation to the reverb. You could add auto panning to your, you could do anything. Once you have that reverb over on an aux and you're processing it separately, then you could do anything that you want to. You can make you could format shift it and make the reverb like an octave below it. You can make some really interesting changes to it. So the more control that you have, I think the better, which is why having that on an aux is going to give you a little bit more of that control. But yeah, you can always EQ some of that mud out so you don't have a heavy vocal plus a really boomy reverb as well. You can have a little bit more control over there as well. I need to start sending to reverb so I can actually fine tune it with EQ and stuff. I'm lazy, so I just put it straight on the vocal track. I mean, that to me is going to be a non-negotiable with this style, because you're talking about really like, ambient and atmospheric music with a lot of interesting changes. If you are putting it right on the vocal, when you start automating or like pushing the wetness of that reverb forward, you are reducing your dry signal as well, right? So if I have Valhalla reverb and I put it right on, or Deverb from Pro Tools, and I put it right on the lead vocal right there, and I start to, push the wetness of that reverb, I'm reducing my dry signal as well. So as I'm trying to, increase texture and ambiance in the mix, I'm actually reducing the clarity of the lead vocal. So that's why I would always recommend, like, just in like this case, I can show you right now, because I think I already have one on here. Boom. Yep. So like right now I have a Valhalla reverb on an aux right now, so I can feed it in. And what you'll notice is this reverb sounds great. It's huge, right? It's massive. It's like I'm in a tavern, cavern, not a tavern, a cavern, right? So my lead vocal, what I like about this being on an aux is you're not going to get any reduction in the dry signal. My lead vocal that's right down the middle isn't getting touched at all. It's completely dry. But now this sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. This is God speaking, right? And I can dry it up and it sounds, obviously very, very clean. So that's the kind of control that you're looking for. That right now, if you have this on that vocal and you start to bring up a reverb, that's why you're hearing that vocal then dive in the mix, because as you increase reverb, you reduce dry signal and you're losing some of your clarity and some of your separation there. So I highly recommend spend 45 minutes. I appreciate you so much, Cameo. Spend 45 minutes on YouTube looking up how to send your processing to an aux, right? I do that for, unless there's a very specific reason. Otherwise, all of my delays, all of my reverbs, like doubling plugins, stuff like that. A lot of the, harmony and choir plugins, I'll put in an aux so I can maintain control over dry signal and introduce as much of that wet signal as possible. So that's where the control is going to. And then once again, like I'm going to give you an example really quick, right? So I've got this reverb, and if I want to, I'm going to add some modulation, right? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add a brigade chorus. Listen to that. Check 1, 2. It sounds crazy, right? So you can add a bunch of like weird, quirky effects on here. Like watch this. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to raise the octave with a. I'm going to use a little alter boy. I'm going to format shift everything up only on the reverb. So I'm going to go right here. It's up an octave. Sounds like an explosion, right? Check 1, 2. Right? So now my reverb can have all of these like crazy, weird effects that are like wild sounding, right? So if I want weird texture, I have control. And that's the benefit of having this on an aux. Because listen, my lead vocal, yeah, it's a crazy amount of noise, right? It just sounds stupid. Like this is an exaggerated version, right? Exaggerated version, just kind of, I wouldn't necessarily do that. But you hear how my lead vocal hasn't been touched. I'm still right here, right down the middle. I can bring this in and I can keep this very, very clean and direct. So it's gonna give you a lot more control. Ton more control. But I mean, there's been times where I've had I'm going to give you a loose example. I'll have a delay on a song I was working on a couple years ago. It never came out, but so working on a song a couple years ago, and for the first verse, we had a really, really like interesting like ending delay that we wanted to do that we automated on at the end of a line. We had a big like high falsetto vocal, and at the end of that line, we had this automated on really interesting delay tail right there. And then what we did is on the delay tail itself, we had a little alter boy on there, and we automated at the delay tail at the start, we automated the format shifting and the pitch, right? So that only the delay tail lead vocal will just da 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 da, had this high note right there. And then on the background, that delay tail would da 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 da, or it would have this like really interesting like drive at the top, or do 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 do. So like the delays had these like interesting automations and textures. I can only do that if I'm doing that on an aux and I have more control over it. So it can be really fun to have a little bit more control. So I highly recommend. Let me take this brigade off of here. We don't need all that. I highly recommend making sure that you have everything routed, or as much as you want to, routed to an aux. You have a little bit more control. Okay, let's keep it running to the end of the song here. Did it already be on the queue? Is it Sisiak? Am I saying that correctly? I don't have you in the queue currently speaking. Let me double check a few things here. Did you also send in credit? Let me know. Who just sent through the... Okay, yeah, I don't have you. Make sure that you double both the checks. Yeah, not just an email. So make sure that you do both steps. So go to my profile, click on the link, and then please read through and follow all of the details there. I think you probably skipped. You just did the email and you skipped the other steps. So make sure that you read through all of the steps there. That way you can make sure that we get you up on the line as well with everybody else here. Let me know really quick who just sent through the email as well. Actually, let me double check over here. I believe, actually, I think that's Cameo. Ooh, let's go. We got Cameo in the building. All right, I'll update the line here after I finish this. And then Horror, I got you. I got your email as well. I'll update the line here just once I finish this so I can focus on it. All right, let's skip to the last little part right here. Your mic is too low volume. Is it too low volume? I've already been through this. On here. And I made edits and everyone said it was fine. Is it too low volume? Or are you just is this just like a troll thing to do? I don't know what's going on. It'll drive me up a wall. It's loud. I was like, wait, what's going on? I can't tell if people are just trolling and they're just trying to get me. It sucks like being like an audio engineer and being like ADHD where like people are like, it's too quiet. I'm like, no, fuck. And it'll drive me nuts. Okay, it should sound normal. I don't change any of the settings here, and it's the same settings going to 3 different streams, and the other streams sound fine. So I'm not worried about it. If it's too quiet, change your phone settings, turn it up on your phone, you'll be fine. All right, let's get into this last section real quick, and then we'll switch songs. Okay, good. I'm glad it's loud and clear. And this, you know, that lead melody in the background is so good. So I want that supported by not only like that sound itself, but also supported by like maybe even one of the other little like I would love like a kind of a DX7 style, like, you know. I would love like another layer to support that melody too. So maybe like I mentioned before, you could have that forward a little bit more. And then in the background, I think you could also have another layer to that in order to give you a little bit more energy behind. The OBXA would be, in fact, I have one on here. It would be beautiful to have a little bit of shimmer, a little, like I think OBXA is great for stuff like this. It has really, really nice top and sheen. I think like a DX7, a D50, Fantasia style, like a D50 would be great for something like this. So around that melody, which is kind of plucky, a little bit more mellow, you get some shimmer, you get some sheen right over the top. Octave layer in the final iteration. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so if that's the case, you do have it in the other iteration, then just bring it to the forefront a little bit to make sure that really holds its own space in the mix. If you want to send your music, Soupy, I appreciate you tapping in. If you want to send in, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the details. We'll get you on the board. The line is on the other platforms that we're live on. I love your brass sounds. Like most of this other sound design, I really, really like. You have this, kind of tonal quality of like vintage drum machines and stuff like that I really appreciate. It's kind of noisy, a little fuzzy. I like that a lot. Once you get into like final, structure, final mixing and mastering and stuff like that, I would definitely saturate this well, right? Make sure it's not too clean and dry and pointy, but it actually feels like it's got some warmth and some character and texture, because I think a lot of your sound design choices are really warm and really engaging, but they can be a little like dry sounding, a little almost like too like digital with some of their artifact. And I would love to kind of warm it up, give it a little texture, give it a little bit of harmonics that I think would just liven it up in a beautiful way, make it really musical sounding and not too transient and pointed. This is great. This is great, man. Let me get this last little section here. And I'm excited for you to build. You still have another verse and chorus you want to do as well. So I'm excited to hear that out as well. Got you, Shane. Yeah, y'all show some love. Show some love. That's Micah right here in the chat. Show some love to Micah. Micah, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sending in this track. My love for synths. I've got a ton of them, and it will only be getting more. I love synths, and I love the structure of what you have here. I think it's really interesting, really engaging. I love the 6/8 push. I think that's very dynamic as well. So please show some love to Micah right here in the chat. They're over on the Purple app right now. They're on one of the other platforms. Let me update the line really quick. So give me just 2 seconds. Let's get Cameo in the building. Cameo's in the building. We got Cameo 13 in here. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for the love. Let me get you up there. Let me give Shane, I got you as well. I'm just getting everything in order of submission here, getting everything in the right spot. Let me get Horror on here as well. I got you. Horror Scene. Let me get the right name on here. Boom. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I think I have everything in order, ready to go as far as I know. Let me just double check over here really briefly. Fabulous, fantastic. Let's get it. Let's keep the music going. We've got Cameo in the building. This is still tied up by Cameo 13. If you don't know Cameo, or for one, you're about to. We're about to dive into one of their records, but he's a really talented songwriter. Talk to me about production on this one. I know that changes, sometimes track to track. But let's dive in, man. Still tied up by Cameo 13. And Cameo, you're in the city right now, man. I think, right? I'm pretty sure. We've been slam with just work and stuff lately. So I'm trying to figure out if there would be a possibility to see, but we got like family events all weekend and we've been working like crazy. Prince May, welcome in. Thanks for tapping into the stream today. Production on me from SoCal, trying to go pop with this record. Let's get it. Let's run it from the top.
So much time has passed me by, but I'm still thinking about you. It's too many days for me, babe. Wishing I could press rewind. The clock's still ticking without you, but I can't seem to turn this page. Living rent-free inside of my head, I can't believe it.
Thank you, Jenna.
Feels like I'm wasting my time on you. And I gotta know, is there a way for me to turn this around? Because I'm all choked up, and I gotta know, am I the one that you keep thinking about? Cause I'm still tied up on you. you're stuck in my mental. It's hard to forget you, yeah. I'm sprung and I'm staying. And my head's where you're staying,
Yeah.
Might be off for the drink, but I ain't too gone.
That's what I was saying.
Take another ride, won't be too long. I miss you by my side, won't lie. Feels like I'm chasing the high. Living rent-free, getting inside of my head. I can't believe it. Feels like
I love that little
wasting my
arpeggio.
time on you. And I gotta know, is there a way for me to turn this around? Because I'm all choked up, and I gotta know, am I the one that you keep thinking about? Cause I'm still tied up on you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That is Cameo 13 in the chat. Typically a more like dark R&B artist, so I'm really excited that you're moving in this direction too. It's just going to give you a broader catalog, man. You're going to reach a different audience. You're going to have different support for a song like this that hopefully will translate to people finding all of the rest of your amazing, amazing music. Always love your vocal, man. Layering, ad-libs, all of your vocal structures, always really, really impressive and very well structured. This is all done by Cameo, so y'all please show some love to the family. Let's run it from the top. Yeah, I'm listening for the 808 in the background here, so we're gonna go just real quick. I'm gonna switch over here just for a second. Why is it doing this again? Hold on. This just does this very randomly. Give me a second. I don't know why this happens randomly. I gotta get this back where it's supposed to be. One moment. Come back. There we go. And we're back. You can kind of see it. It's a little big, but it's fine. Pause. All right, let's get this. All right, give me just a moment here. I'm just gonna drop something on here just for fun, just so we can I want to kind of listen to the bass structure. That's what I'm looking for. There's the width that we're looking for. Let's re-trigger it so we don't need the legato on there. Okay, I'm gonna run it from the top. We're gonna dive into a couple quick things here. One is the 808 pattern here, and kind of where that sits in the structure of the mix and how it's complementing the chords that you have underneath it. There's a couple times that it restarts on I think the C sharp, and then a couple other times where I don't think it follows the same progression as all of the other chords early on. So I want to get that lined up because that's gonna give you the most like distinct drive and presence and pop from like kick to the bass to the progression underneath it, the synths that you have over the top. I want that to be super, super clear. I also think it would be nice. Like I'm playing this is a mini Moog, but like talking through your bass structure, I don't mind an 808. It's gonna give you some, it's gonna give you some thump underneath it. But I also wouldn't mind hearing a, I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit of like a synth bass, Moog style synth bass. Let's go a little like more resonant. Kind of in that pocket right there. Bring that down a little bit. Okay, let's start it from the top. We'll get into it.
So much time has passed me by. But
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about you. It's too many days for me, babe. Wishing I could press rewind. The clock's still ticking without you, but I can't seem to turn this page.
Early progression, I think is fine. I don't think you have to have the bass there, right? The early progression, just kind of finding a feel for the song over the F sharp. So early progression, I think is fine. All of that sounds good. I think it's just really when the 808 comes in. So
Time has passed me by, but I'm still thinking about you. It's too many days for me, babe. Wishing I could press rewind. The clock's
I think we can probably pull back on that good. That that little high, plucky guitar that you have on the slightly right side right there, that can probably pull back by just a couple dB. I love that it's there. It's a great underlick that kind of underlines the whole production right here, but it starts to kind of interrupt some of the vocal right there, and it distracts me just a little bit. I love that it's there. I love what it's doing. It probably just needs to be pulled back by maybe a couple dB, or maybe even once the first verse starts, you can even like filter it down just slightly, darken it just a little bit, and then open it back up for the hook or the next verse or something like that. But it could use a little bit more control, since right now it's in your face, it's a little bit forward. I think it's slightly distracting. I like that it's there though. I think it's doing a good job.
Still ticking without you, but I can't seem to turn this page. Living rent-free inside of my head, I can't believe it. Feels like I'm wasting my time on you.
And then this buildup right here, some of it might even just be, excuse me, it might even just be the snare choice itself. I don't know if you wrote in this snare or if it's like a splice buildup based on the BPM or something like that. Of course, you can let me know. MTG, welcome in, and D Busy, welcome in. Thanks for tapping in. That buildup right there for me separates me from the style for a second as well. I think you'd probably be better off with just like a standard clap buildup. If you want to do a kind of EDM style, like EDM pop buildup, you definitely can. What's up, Busy? Good to see you, man. But in my opinion, that pulls me out a little bit. And I think it might even be better to start with, yeah, I could try finding another one. Yeah, I would almost rather start slower too, with just a ka, ka, ka. So it starts a little ka, ka. Let me see.
Leave it, living rent-free inside of my head, I can't believe it. Feels like I'm
Yeah, it pulls me out. That makes me feel like I'm about to go into like a DJ Snake, like super huge EDM record, and then it has this like really organic pop feel that I think works really, really well with your voice, and I think the rest of that structure I think sounds really nice. But that snare pulls me out a little bit, so I think I would almost start slower. So right now, you're starting with like quarters, right? We have or right now you're starting with like eighth notes, right? Like right now you're kind of and it kind of builds up from there. I would rather just dun 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 dun, and then do dun 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 dun. So kind of match the vocal structure there. And dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 and then you hit the next little section right there. I think it's doubled from the start, so you're immediately dun, 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 dun. And that again, that feels like I'm about to go into some crazy EDM breakdown. And then you don't want to leave people like disappointed with the transition that comes afterwards, because it's just a slower pacing, right? So I think you could find something that starts more on like a quarter that's a little bit more locked in. It just kind of sits right there, and then dun 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 dun, and then everything kind of switches up from right there. Yeah, switch it up, and then you could also, again, this is something you could write in MIDI as well. Drop a sample in there. And then just go quarters first, and then double it the next time, put them in between each other, and then triple it the next time. You can you could do your old build up right there on a track. And then on that track, you can even like automate the pitch, automate a filter. Like, you know how sometimes you'll like thin it up with like an automated low cut and then drop it right there. Thanks for the 10K likes, y'all. Appreciate y'all a lot. There's a couple different ways where you could build that out, right? But I would suggest, changing that build up a little bit. That one little clap just or that snare pulls me out a little bit. I think you can find something that feels a little bit more intentional.
wasting my time on you.
Yeah.
And I gotta know, is there a way for me to
Let me hear.
oh. And I gotta know, is there a way for me to turn this around? Because I'm all choked up, and I gotta know.
Okay, so here's what I think is happening right now. Okay, here's what's happening right now. Your early productions, I'm going to switch to piano for a second. I think this is still the case. So I'm switching to piano. We're going to go over here. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So your initial progressions are here. Right, if we go to this like first section right here, I'm going to go from the top.
So much time has passed me by, I'm still thinking about you. It's too many days for me,
Right, so
babe.
your first progression. Dun, 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 dun. That's a D sharp minor, C sharp major, B major, my time, F sharp major. That's your first progression. the piano that you have underneath it, whether that's like a loop or even put in a MIDI, that piano underneath it and some of the other guitar elements are still following that progression on the verse. I'm sorry, they're still following that progression on the hook. So since they're still following it, and then you move your bass line to a different progression, but all of the other elements are still doing the D sharp minor. They're still here. They're still locked into that progression. So that now there's a mismatch because you have this happening at the same time. I'm going to go an octave below so you can kind of hear. So you have basically this happening at the same time, and then it lines up a little bit, and then you have that happening at the same time, and then it lines up a little bit, so you have kind of that tension, right? And sometimes, like every other chord matches, and then it goes, you know, off of the match, and then it matches again, and then it goes back off of it. So what you need is for all of that, ideally, I mean, this is, again, it's a tasting a little bit too, but ideally, you have all those bases matching. So in this case, that would be D sharp, right? So I'm gonna, it's gonna sound bad because your bass is already in there, but I'm gonna show you kind of what that sounds like and what that would feel like going into the hook, right?
It's like I'm wasting my time on you. And I gotta know, is there a way for me to turn this around? Because I'm all choked up. And I gotta know, am I the one that you keep thinking about? Cause I'm still tied up on you.
It's totally different.
You're stuck in my mental.
Back to that minor, right?
It's
Let it
hard to
out.
forget you,
Let it-
yeah. I'm sprung.
Totally different feel, right? Totally different feel. Obviously, that's going to clash quite a bit. And there's the genre based on the chords, 100%. Now we can reharmonize a little bit. There's some, you know, you can like I said, you can have some movement in there that sounds interesting. But we want the bass to match. So what you want, if you're wanting the bass to match, is again, same progression that you have in your verses. That's a D sharp, because if you're just doing single bass, right? D sharp, C sharp, B, F sharp. That's it. That's your whole progression right there. D sharp, C sharp, B, F sharp. If you line up the progression right there, everything matches, everything's kind of in line, and everything's going to sound so much more full because they're all doing the same thing. As soon as that happens, it's going to be a different world. On this B section, we're moving forward. This next verse right here, I love, Ro mentioned the embellishments. I love these little synth tones in the background. They're beautiful. I love them. You could also add a bunch of delay to one too. Like this, a nice little arpeggio that hits on the right side. Gorgeous, great intuition there. I think that's fantastic.
You're stuck in my mental.
That, I think it probably needs to come back in the mix a little bit. Probably, let's say 3 or 4 dB, pull it back a little bit. I love it, but it's again kind of interrupts like that guitar earlier on. I absolutely love what that synth is doing. It's ear candy, it's beautiful. What I would probably do is pull it back in the mix by a couple dB, let's say 3, 4 dB, something like that. And then add like a ping pong delay that goes for the next couple seconds as well. It's such a beautiful little ear candy, little floater right there that I absolutely love. What's up, Helios? What's up, dude? I absolutely love that movement. I love that texture. It just interrupts a little bit, and then it doesn't have any other play outside of that. So pull it back a couple, throw a ping pong on it so it bounces around your ears a little bit and then settles back into the production again. Because I love your ear candy here. It's beautiful.
Hard to forget you, yeah. I'm sprung and I'm staying.
And then B section, there might be room.
Yeah.
B section might be a great time for you to introduce the bass again, because you don't want it to feel just like your first verse. You want some increases in energy, so it might be nice to go back into here and give it just a little bit more of that texture on the B section, right? So you start here.
You're stuck in my mental.
Like let this pull back a little bit. I love that. Beautiful.
And I'm staying.
Right here, coming back in.
Yeah. Might be off for the drink, but I ain't too gone. Take another ride, won't be too long. I miss you by my side, won't lie. Feels like I'm chasing the high. The rent free getting inside of my head.
And then build up differently, right? Separate snare here. Build it up. Back to the D sharp minor.
And I gotta know, is there a way for me to turn this around? Because
I think you should keep it funky, right? You don't need to go 80s, but keep it a little funky right there. So different build up right there. You come back into the hook.
is there a way for me to turn this around? Because I'm all choked up.
progression. So this is now going to line up with your piano. It's going to line up with your electric guitars in the background. It's going to line up with your early verse progressions and stuff like that. And again, you're looking at like a mainstream pop. There's nothing wrong with really consistent progressions here. You can change it up a little bit, have some movements, some reharmonizations, have some changes to the progression lightly. But if you're looking at like mainstream pop and you've got a verse hook, bridge outro, right? Or like bridge hook outro. If you want like a really consistent, production structure and a really consistent repeated hook, then you can keep this really simple, right? Just D sharp, C sharp, B, and then end on the F sharp right there, where you get your one back into the mix, right? Edmund, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Just that switch of just following the progression on the bass, to me, completely changes the way that this feels. Same thing, we don't really need that same buildup again. So again, restructuring a little bit of how you process some of those background elements, the progressions that you follow. The song itself, I think, is really well structured. I think your voice is awesome. I think your layers are beautiful. The reason why I'm hammering this home is because I want the foundation of the track to support that vocal as much as possible. If there's inconsistencies in the bass line, inconsistencies in the progression between like different elements in the background, it's going to feel kind of unstable and uncertain. And I really want it to feel heavy and vibrant and energetic. And that foundation is especially in pop music, R&B, stuff like that, is such a massive foundation to the entire feeling that you get from this track. So that's why it's so important.
And I gotta know, am I the one that you keep thinking about? 'Cause I'm still tied up on you.
Same here. Back off here. So like here, you can back off of that, right? So you have kind of a B section here. So your biggest section, still have the progression in there with the synth bass or some other bass, whether you do it just with the 808 or you do add a synth bass as well to match it. The other thing I would double check too is sometimes 808s are tuned to different notes as well. So you might be playing the notes that you want to play in MIDI, but the 808 might be like a D sharp, or it might be like an E or an F or something like that. And so when you drop it in there, most like typical ones are tuned to like a middle C. So most 808s are kind of based off the middle C. So you drop them in there and they all hit a middle C at middle C. But if you randomly have an 808 that's like a D sharp or an E or something like that, when you play your C on your MIDI controller and put that as a C in your MIDI content in the DAW, it's going to be playing a D sharp, right? It's super annoying. Yeah, it's so annoying. So you can also double check that they're tuned right. Some are still a little bit flat, some are a little bit sharp. So sometimes I need to go in and like manually tune that, like do like microtonal stuff or like really, really small tuning to the 808 itself, even if it says it's a C. Sometimes it's like flat or sharp. So I might need to actually like tune the 808 a little bit in the sample, right, itself, and then drop that into a sample controller so I can play it and actually put it into the mix. But yeah, double check some things like that. But at the same time, you're just looking for that same, D sharp, C sharp, B, F sharp. If you get that in there, you'll be good. And then B section, back off again. So here you can go just to 808 if you want to, or take out the bass completely and end just with like your pads and strings and synths and vocal structure here at the end as well. 100%, bro. So here you're good. And then back off here. Let it out. Make sure it all matches. Make sure it all matches. Beautiful. I love the outro too. I love the outro. Yeah, you're getting a lot of the mud just because those progressions aren't matching, but rebalancing layers there, making sure that the progressions match at the end there. Even when you back off of the bass, I think it's going to sound so much cleaner and so much more vibrant. Y'all show some love to the family. Cameo 13, absolutely love what you do, man. This is a great direction for you. I mean, your vocal works really well with this. It really does. It works really, your vocal is one of those voices where I feel like I can hear you in like mainstream pop. I can hear you in like dark R&B, stuff that I've heard a lot from you. I could also hear you doing like a punk rock record. You know what I mean? Like the way that you sing, your tonal qualities and the characteristics of your vocal, I think are like really, really interesting to listen to. I think you have a lot of variety in your vocal. You should do an EP that's like the same song in 5 different genres and then promote them all, see which one takes off and lean into that genre for an album. Like, I don't know. You have such a variety packed vocal that I think genuinely sounds good on most genres. It's really interesting, man. You're so skilled, man. Absolutely love what you do. Keep doing it. Also love metalcore. I think we have some metalcore coming up here in a minute. I'm not positive. Drawing room, welcome in. If you want to check the line, actually need to switch. So give me a second to go back over here. And we're back. Yeah, if you want to check the line, you can check it on the other platforms that we are live on, which you can also find at my profile at the link as well. We're live on, the red app and purple app and, the code words that we use. Please show some love one more time to Cameo 13. He's got amazing music out on all platforms as well. Incredibly talented writer. He produced that as well. He's doing it all himself, man, and he's very, very prolific. So please show some love to the family. Let's keep the music going. I've got Shane up next. Shane, hop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. A quick reminder that if you do want to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. Once again, if you want to check the line is on the other platforms that we're live on as well. Let's get 10K. We got 13K. Let's get 20K. Let's see if we can get 20. Hell yeah, Jenna. I appreciate it. Let's go, dude. I'm so excited for you, man. So excited for you. This is a cool direction. I'm excited to see. I really think that this will give you a little bit of leverage. It'll give you a nice little push if that's what you're looking for, man. You'll tap into another fan base, which is great. I love it. I love it, dude. I love it. Okay, I'm not seeing Shane. I'm not seeing Shane. Shane, let me know if you're here real quick. Just make yourself known. If not, we'll keep it moving. Nova, I see you in the chat already, so you're ready to go. I need to get my Poly D fixed, man. I gotta reach out to some people. Behringer is no help at all. No help at all. So I gotta figure that out now. I gotta reach out to Sweetwater, see if they'll send me the part or if they'll source it from Behringer or something like that. It's brutal. It's brutal. It's one of my synths I use the most day to day, and it's one of the switches crapped out on me. What's up, Ned? Thanks for tapping in. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there. Horsing, same. Synths are my thing. So for those of you who don't know, I played piano and keys since I was 6 years old. I was classically trained for 13 years. So keys, synth, piano, that's my baby. That's my thing. I love it with all my heart. I have 15 synths in here. I love synths. You can't see it, but right next to me, I have a 45U rack. It's a 45 or 46U rack next to me that it has nothing in it right now, but it's about to house a bunch of rack mounted synths. I need to get some stuff in here. But I love synths so much. It's my favorite instrument. I love their deep mind for the price. 100%. I'd probably have it if I didn't have a Juno 106, which I have behind me. If I didn't have a Juno 106, I'd probably have a deep mind. I think that's a great synth for the price. And it's really versatile. Build quality, that is probably the thing that is the most frustrating. Same thing with the Poly D. The Poly D is the thing that happened is just one of their rocker switches broke, and it just it crapped out on me. And it unfortunately it is an inline distortion circuit on the Poly D, right? And I never use the distortion on there. I usually I'll run into a guitar pedal or something like that if I want that. But I flipped it on for a particular lead that I was doing I was tracking some synths for a client, doing some session work, and I flipped on the distortion, audio cut, the rocker switch was loose, and it's inline. So if that distortion circuit goes out and it can't trigger, then no audio passes because it's close to the output. So unfortunately, I got nothing out of it right now. That's why they can keep them. Yeah, exactly. But then I reached out to Behringer. I reached out to whatever their parent company is. I reached out to Behringer, and they were no help at all. They basically said, we do not send out parts because we can't do quality control of you fixing things. I was like, I don't if it breaks, it breaks. It's not on you. I don't have a warranty with Behringer or anything like that. But anyways, it's driving me nuts. So Behringer refuses to send me the replacement part that I need. I was like, I'll solder it in myself. I don't care. I will open up the back. I've worked on stuff before. I will open up the back of the synth. I'll solder it in myself. And Behringer refuses to give me the part, or tell me which one I need in order to replace that, replace that switch right there and solder it back in. And so I've got to figure it out now with, something else. It's different here in Europe. I think warranty is a bit different in the US. I think everything's a bit different in the US and probably worse. Okay, really quick. Which Neumann is that? It's a M147 tube. M147 tube. Okay, let's get it. I'm not seeing them. So Nova, hop in the chat. Well, a quick reminder, if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details. And then Nova, there's Nova. I see Nova right here. Got you. Hall, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. If you want to check the line order minimum, stuff like that, find that on the other platforms that we're live on. Red and Purple app is our code names for them, but you can find those at my link as well. This is my song Ectasis. Ectasis is the name. Let's get into it. Oh, there's Shane. They from a couple of days not getting released just for. Oh no, you're good. Okay, wait. Shane's back. Shane's back. I gotta run Shane first, sir, at the top. Matthew, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Can you play the guitar? Not right now. Not right now. In fact, well, I have my acoustic next to me, but I'm trying to run through this music a little bit faster too. I want to hear the Sinner's guitar. I need to fix it up. You can see it. That's it right there. That's it right there behind me. You can kind of see it. That's the Sinner's guitar. It's a vintage Rogue. What do you call it? A vintage Rogue resonant acoustic or resonator acoustic. Yeah, it's nice. It's not. I'll show you. And I need to fix it up though. It needs some work. And I do have a slide. But I need to polish it up a little bit. But yeah, you can see it a little bit better there. So yeah, it needs a little bit of work. There's some like mudes and support pads underneath here that I need to I need to probably switch those out. I need to probably open up the grate here, clean it out a little bit. The guy I got it from, it was in storage for a long time, but it's pretty. And these things are they're loud too. But it's like out of tune. It needs new strings. It needs a lot. It's pretty muted, but she's pretty. I like it. I like it a lot. And I don't know where my slide is right now. I think it's with my amps. But anyways, can oogle and ogle at that in the background. I do it. I do like it a lot. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. It'll be fun for just like some really particular productions that I'm working on. I'll be taking that on days. That's hilarious. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? But I know I need to, once I fix it up, I need to get some fresh strings on it, mic it up and whatever. I'll post some videos with it. What I should probably do for the algorithm is learn how to play some of the Sinner's parts or whatever that probably do really well. Just like learn how to play some of the parts on there and just learn it on there. Cause it's a beautiful guitar sound. And even now, like it's those guitars are so loud. They resonate beautifully. So, okay. They're really cool. They're really cool. I still need a big body acoustic in here. I want like a jumbo or, I need like a Gibson jumbo or something like that. Cause the only acoustics I have are my resonant. Teresa, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I have the resonant acoustic and then I have this little parlor guitar. This is my Gretsch over here. Sorry, then we'll get back into this is where we get off rails. And this is just like my Gretsch parlor guitar. And I love this too, this little Jim Dandy. But I like this thing. It's a cool little acoustic in it, and it sounds really good. I don't mind it, but it's such a small, Josh, thank you for the heartbeat. Thank you for the follow as well. It's such a small guitar that doesn't have the expression, you know what I mean? It doesn't have the projection that obviously like a resonant does or like a full body acoustic. But I mean, I've tracked this thing so many times and it sounds great. Throw a little EQ on there. I usually mic it with this mic or my LA 120s. It sounds great. It honestly sounds good. It's just small, and you can't, you can't just, really overcome a tiny body on a guitar, and it's a small guitar. Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah, if y'all want to submit, go to same place, drawing room, same place. Yeah, if y'all want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the steps there, and we'll get you up on the board. The line you can find over on the other platforms that we are live on right now. And then on, no problem, Miranda told me to check you out, and then on Creepy Way. Hey, I'll take the Creepy Way too these days. All right, let me see. Let me double check if I'm just playing. I'm just messing around. Josh, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for tapping into the stream today. Okay, that is Drawing Room, I believe. Deneen, right? I think that's you. Let me just double check. McKay's in the building. McKay, I got you. Let me throw you up on the board as well. I think that's Drawing Room, right? Let me just double check really quick. And then I got to get to Shane. I got to get to Shane because Shane came in too. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Drawing. I remember that name, so I'm going to make sure I get you there. McKay, I'm dragging you up here as well. I got you. Let me get Drawing Room. I love Drawing Room. They're awesome. Awesome. Okay. Let me get you in line. Beautiful. Okay. Got you up there, McKay. Ooh, Dofer or Bukla. I gotta go. I think just like, I mean, that's a nearly impossible question. I gotta go Bukla. I just think not even like history, but There's something about the Buchla system, just the interface, the color, like the easels. I would love to have a Buchla easel in here, an old Buchla easel. I just think that would be so fun. And some of those early systems are like quite literally like $70,000. Like they're just unbelievably expensive, rare synths. I got to go like maybe for like modern systems and like modern like Euro racks and stuff like that. I'd probably go Dofer or I'd probably go Dofer, but Buchla's like, man, they're exactly like Buchla is just something. So I have a Buchla plugin. That's as close as I'm getting these days with, the way my bank account's set up. But I have a Buchla plugin and it's great. I love it. It's quirky and weird and like, inconsistent. I love it so much. All right, Shane, we got Shane in the building. Shane, let's dive into it. Let's get into the song. This is, I'm driving at work with a cab cam, so I won't be able to answer many questions, but would love some feedback on this. Now I've heard plenty of Shane's music, so I feel like I know a lot of the questions that already might potentially come up. So that shouldn't be a problem, Shane. Hopefully we can still tap into this. All right, let me get this download. Let's keep it going through the music, y'all. We're gonna keep it moving. I've got I think maybe like 4 more tracks after this one, 3 or 4 more tracks, something like that. Give me 1 second while this downloads. Let me see. While we're waiting for this track to download, let me see. Well, it should work. Hold on. There we go. Okay, never mind. I'll do that. I was going to say I can pull up the Buchla. All right, this is Smiling Lines by Shane. Let's get into it. Probably, I mean, I don't have one, but probably S's help. Or no, Neve. Maybe like a Neve Genesis, something modern, with mechanical faders. I would love it. A Neve Genesis would be great with 73s across or 81s. I'm gonna back it up. I gotta focus. We're talking about Neves. Thank you for the rose, Josh. Appreciate you.
Late nights and Sunday ain't heavy on my heart. I wouldn't trade a memory with you. I get lost.
That's more niche. That's more niche for sure.
Like a tender work of art. I never knew what time and love could.
Same place you sent the credit, drawing room. The email's at the top there. Just copy it over. Nice. This is not a really good song, Shane. Really good song. The structure's great.
Sunburns and tie-dye.
Just want to balance the mix, but man, it's a really good song.
Picnic tables and willow trees. We lived it like our love would never fade. Skate parks and timelines. Different words to the same old tune. It's funny how some rhythms never change. And your smiling lines from all the best of times, erasing every trace of all the worries in your mind. And your hands, so kind, are working overtime to carry.
Absolutely all genres. Everything's at my profile if you click on the link. Shane, this is beautiful, man.
Slow down. You know how the time goes by.
Welcome in. Welcome in. Sounds good, McKay.
Hold out and take the sunshine in. And your smiling lines
to me. Useful Arts Hornet. What is it? I know a little bit about Useful Arts. I think you've told me something about them before too. Talk to me. 6 Dub, welcome in. Y'all show some love to Shane. Shane isn't going to be able to respond. I think he's driving right now, so he's not going to be able to respond to a lot. But he's still kind of in the background. So I'll go over a couple of things here, and then we'll lock it in. Handmade Phoenix, Arizona. Ooh, I like Phoenix, Arizona preamp and DI 350 custom. Is it 500 series? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Big claps from the Purple Apps. Y'all show some love to Shay, man. Shane's one of the OGs. He's been here for years at this point. We love and adore him. Let's get into this track. Let's dive into a couple details. Vocal processing, balance on the mix. So the biggest thing for me is I think the song is great. There's desktop, but only like 4 inches aside. Oh, could I half rack it? I got 45 U I need to fill right here. I got 45 U I got to fill. Could I half rack it? Could I put it on a shelf and half rack it, or have it between maybe a couple smaller than 4 inches? Oh, that's teeny. It's a little bit. I could probably put 3 of them in a half rack. I could probably go 3 wide in a half rack then, if it's, or 4 wide, 5 wide. Jeez, yeah, dude, that's tiny. That's a little baby. That's a little baby preamp. That sounds nice. What have you instruments have you tried it on yet? Are you talking vocals? Because that would be nice to get something really clean just to input for vocals. Like right now, I just either run through my ART or something. Yeah, bass and vocals. Nice, dude. The transformers, a little bit of breakup, right? You said custom transformers, a little bit of breakup when you push it. Hell yeah, dude. That's great. New vocal pre, 350 is not bad either. That's, especially for something that small. Okay, let's run it from the top. This is Shane. Let's dive into it from the top. Main thing, I think the song is good. Lyric structure is great. The concept is great. Like the whole like structure of this performance, I think is really, really, really well structured and really, really well done. For me, the biggest thing is just balance, right? Your double track acoustic comes in super, super, super hot. So like that left side double track, it just needs to come down and be like softened and maybe re-EQ'd lightly. It's a little mid forward. It could just be softened on that left side, pulled back to like 4 or 5 dB to kind of rebalance in the mix. When it comes in on those earlier hooks as well as your last hook, it's very, very prominent. So you get a ton of energy out of it, and it kind of just takes over the mix. And this is the kind of style and production and mix that I want to feel like soft and easy and warm. I don't want anything to really jump out at me. It should feel really, really easy to listen to. So if you find that anything is interrupting anything, then that's something that you want to pull back and kind of restructure so that nothing stands too far out and that your lyrics, your song structure is at the forefront. That's the biggest thing that I want to make sure is at the front of the mix. So let's run it from the top. That is the wrong song. Where did it go? Oh, right here. There we go. Billy Sheehan's choice for bass DI, if that explains why. Ooh, yeah, that does make sense. That does make sense. Yeah, that's killer, dude. 350. I mean, there's not much cheaper than that. I mean, the cheapest is going to be 500 series and like Fredensteins or something like that, which are meh. Like there's, maybe some like used DBXs or like a Lindell for maybe that 400 range or something like that. But there's not that much that cheap. There's not a whole lot out there. There's not a whole lot, especially on the pre side, that's that reasonable.
Late nights and someday ain't heavy.
I would also love a little bit more. We're going back into maybe retracking here. I would love a little bit more consistency with that snare placement right there. Late nights and the like 2/4 from that snare with I love that it's brushes. I mean, it's very soft. It's really engaging. I love that it's brushes. So I keep all of that structure. Can you turn volume up on the track? I can. It's as loud as it goes in the file that they gave me. 100%. Okay, let me. Yeah, it's as loud as the file can play through Apple or whatever. I would just have to be turning up the whole audio, which is just gonna turn everything up a bit.
On my heart, I wouldn't trade a memory with you.
Like that's better there, but that first section there, it's a little bit inconsistent and like its velocity on some of those hits. And I would love for that to be a little bit more consistent. You hear like the second, like maybe the 4, I think that kicks in. That second one's a little bit soft.
Late nights and someday
Like those first 2, actually, those first 2 are a little bit soft.
ain't heavy on my heart. I wouldn't trade.
What's up, Blue? Welcome in. I hope you're doing amazing. Like I would love a little bit more consistency out of just that pattern right there in the drums, so that it feels a little bit more stable underneath the rest of the production structure. But I love what it's doing. I love that it exists there. It's just a little bit inconsistent, and I would love for it to feel a little bit more forward.
I get lost in your face.
Love the guitar riff though.
Like a tender
Love how like
work
warm
of
and soft this
art.
feels.
I never knew what time and love could do. 'Cause your smiling lines were from all the best of times.
And then here you have a really, really hard pan. It's like 100% hard pan to the left side over here. That double track from the right side, that can come back on that left side. That can come back by probably, excuse me, by like 3 or 4 dB. The warm and stuff. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, shifting that energy a little bit, Ro, I agree. On that left side, right, that double track can just come back by probably 3 or 4 dB so that it feels a little bit more connected to the track on the right side. Right now, it's very, very distinct and it sounds it's like ultra wide. It's 100% over here. You could probably bring it into like 75% and then pull it back by a couple dB so it doesn't feel too exaggerated. The perceived loudness is always going to be louder the more that you isolate things to the outside. So you pinned it all the way to the left, but it feels way more isolated and distinct over there. I think you can kind of bring that back into the fold a little bit better so it feels connected, feels cohesive. I like what it's doing. I like the double track. It's really, really nice. Vocal structure, I think it's fantastic. It's airy, it's atmospheric, it's open. I absolutely love it. There's so much about this production that I really, really enjoy. I hope you're doing well. Unfortunately for me, I'm not feeling best. Blue, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better ASAP. Absolutely ASAP. I also think the bass line is on the wrong note based on the progression. So like, again, sometimes it's fine to harmonize and like, kind of reharmonize with these different elements and have like kind of complementary progressions with different instruments. But in this case, they're very strong progressions. Like what is it this smile lines? Like they're very like clear, progressions and structure right there, and I want to make sure that the bass matches up with that. Off the F, and then we go C. There's a C. A minor. Okay, so I think the difference here is that the acoustics move to a D minor. This is a 2 minor, so they go smile lines. Dun, 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 dun. This is the A minor. There's the D minor. Dun, 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 dun. So maybe like the F or the G, right? The bass doesn't though. I think the bass still walks down maybe to the G underneath it or something like that. So I would just make sure that everything follows that progression. Make sure that the bass is doing the C, A minor, D, in this case as a single, to the G or F at the bottom, depending on the part of the song. Just make sure that the bass follows that progression. That's one of the things I think is making it feel a little bit muddy. Is they start the same, the first 2 chords are the same, and then they separate when the guitars go to the D minor. That way everything connects. Right, then everything's super smooth and clean and clear. I think that'll really help make this feel a little bit more connected because all that works together, right? Thank you so much, McKay. I appreciate you, man. Everything will start pointing in the right direction. So if you rebalance the acoustic guitars, give that lead vocal a little bit of support, and make sure all of the progressions line up for that hook, it's going to make that hook feel so like 50% more connected and energetic just because everything's like finally pointed in the right direction. So all of those little details, they all add up. Like not one of those is a massive deal, but they all kind of line up to make this feel really connected and a lot easier for people to just like relax into as opposed to it feeling, a little bit more disconnected. All right, let's move a little bit later into this outro here at the end. I mean, that's a personal question, Dante. I don't know. It doesn't help me, but if it helps you.
Hold out and take
Thank you for the heart me drawing room.
room. Your smiling lights slow down. You know how the time goes by.
It sounds good.
Sometimes hold out and take the sunshine in.
I would love this last transition too. I would love this last transition to feel a little bit more intentional. You move from the picking pattern to some strums. I would love for that to feel a little bit more pointed, a little bit more intentional, so that all of those different double tracks, as you move into strumming, that feels a little bit more locked in. So I would probably retrack that, because it pulls out just a little bit there. I would have made this into just one chorus with a build up to the full mix in the middle if I was going to release it. Yeah, I know this is for a very specific purpose as well. Especially in the wideness of it. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the double track 2 row, where I do think that it would make more sense based on everything that I'm hearing to make sure some of the double tracks and some of the other layers and stuff maybe aren't 100% pushed out or exaggerated in any way. But again, this is very specifically for I think for his wife. Hans, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So this has maybe a little bit of a different structure. I don't know if it's going to be fully released. So that does make a little bit of a difference. Same thing here, that double track come in super, super loud. So it's like just rebalancing some of those elements there. Y'all show some love. Show some love to Shane Paul over in the chat. Shane, absolutely love what you're doing, man. I think stylistically you're also very, very versatile, and I love your vocal structure. I think it's really, really well done. To me, this is largely speaking, there's some small other polished things, but priority wise, largely speaking, this is Joan, thank you for the share, and Stone, thank you for the follow. Largely speaking, I think is really, really engaging. What I want to make sure is that all of these different elements are lined up, right? And then there's ways that you can go back and polish, but I want to make sure that you're polishing off the right foundation, right? Like some people mentioned like the width and guitar, some people like talking about vocal structure and stuff like that. Those can all be edited. Those can all be smoothed out. Those can all be kind of, dissected to make sure that they really fit. But none of that matters if like the progression isn't lined up. None of that matters if like the chords aren't doing the same thing. And those are how you're building your harmonies, right? So if you're building harmonies off of a particular bass line, but that bass line now changes, you might want to restructure those harmonies, so on and so on, right? Like there's a lot of other like secondary, more peripheral things that if the foundation isn't there, like your progressions that are too loud, they need to change to a different one, or the bass line needs to match up, or the balance of all of those different elements aren't doing the same thing, then those things are going to need to be reworked anyways and rebalanced anyway. So that's kind of my approach to that. I don't want to overwhelm with like 50,000 different things that need to be addressed if the foundation hasn't been, kind of solidified first. I do really like the songs that have been submitted today, like really good stuff, Miranda, 100%. I'm a singer and I'm looking for someone to work with. That's amazing. Maria, thank you for tapping into the stream today. I appreciate you being here. Acoustic Gymnastics, welcome to the stream as well. But y'all, please shout out one more time. Shout out to Shane. Appreciate you so much, Shane. You're very talented, man. A ton of potential on here. So yeah, get the foundational stuff. We were talking about this with a couple other artists too, but like just make sure the foundational elements are doing exactly what you want them to do. Make sure that the chords are doing what you want them to do. That when you add in an element, how loud you add that element back in makes sense in the structure of the song and is again offering you the energy or the restraint that you're looking for. And if it's not, then those are those balance things that I want you to address first and foremost. And then the rest is polish, right? How you deal with your ambiance, the actual width, the way that you're panning and positioning stuff. Those are all kind of peripheral things that I think will fall into place as you bring some of these other elements back into balance. T. Sween, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Show some love to Shane one more time. Let's keep it moving. I'm trying to move at a good pace today. So I'm still giving a full 20, plus minute breakdown, but at the same time, moving at a pace that is not, snail's pace here, and I'm moving decently quick. All right, let's keep it moving. Shout out. We love Shane, man. We got Drawing Room in the building. Let's get Drawing Room up here. In the Drawing Room, did you end up sending the email? Let me know. I got you up here right now. And Pretty Maria, what kind of music do you make? What kind of music do you make? Okay, let me see. I've got Horror Scene, Jessenia, which they didn't fully submit. Caston, which didn't fully submit. Jeremiah's, which didn't fully submit. Yeah, so I have a couple people on here. I don't have the email in, so just double check that it's copied over directly, real quick for me. Let's see. Oh, there it is. No, it just came in. I guess it just refreshed or something. I just got like 4 emails all at the same time. Apparently, it just refreshed. I got you. Okay. Let's get into it. You are, yeah, if anybody, it changes all the time. The line changes all the time. So I usually just recommend that people have the line up on another tab, or they go check it every once in a while so you can see. That way you can keep up to, because sometimes what happens is I tell someone like, oh, there's like 3 people ahead of you or something like that. And then during the next song, 4 people submit, and now they're way farther down. And I don't want that to happen, because then people get annoyed. So if you want to check the line, you can go to the other platforms that we're live on. Red app, purple app, you know, use your imagination. The other live streaming platforms. You can find those at my link tree really easily as well. I would encourage you to go over there, check the line, or keep it up on another tab so you can always see it. It tells you how many songs we have left. It tells you the minimum submission at that time. And it tells you exactly where you're at the list, that you can always see it. I just can't show all of that on TikTok because they get weird about it. Okay, let's, I had tried it before and they just butchered my algorithm, which is still butchered for some reason. But let's get into it. This is Drawing Room. This is New World. I've heard Drawing Room before. They're amazing. I'm excited to get into this. Drawing Room, give me all of the details. Sounds good, McKay. Give me all the details. Talk to me about the context. Talk to me about y'all's role in the creation of this. Fluffs, thank you for the follow. Give me some of the details. Give me some of the context. Of course, I've heard some of your stuff before. But if anything's changed, any structural things have changed, I'm excited to get into that. But this is New World by Drawing Room. It wants to open your file in Apple Books. What the heck? Hold on one second. Why is it trying to open this in Apple Books? Yeah, it says it's a book file. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, try. You might want to try setting a different version or something like that. Because it sent it as a .aac, and it's only opening as a book file. Yeah, really good. MP3 or WAV. You know, sometimes FLC and some other ones will work well. But yeah, even just like the MP3 will be fine, or WAV if you have it, if it'll show up in time. Yeah, no pressure. Take your time. I got you. You're next. I have you pulled up, so you don't have to worry about someone coming in after. Yeah, you're totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah, for whatever reason, it just opened up like Apple. I have had this computer for like 3 or 4 years now, and I've never opened Apple Books on here. And all of a sudden, Apple Books pops up and says like, "Hey, get started with Apple Books." I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, maybe that's why, bro. Maybe that's why. I don't have a ton of experience with that. I sit in my realm and I do the same thing all the time. So maybe that makes sense. But that is interesting. Typically, it would still, like FLAC files and stuff like that, they'll typically just still open as an audio file, or I can choose to open it as an audio file and convert it or something, but it didn't give me that option at all. It just keeps opening the same platform. He says I was an MP3 competitor MP3 competitor from the early 2000s. Yeah, that makes sense. It never caught much usage, but some people do. Yeah, 100%. Thank you, McKay. I appreciate it. How long have you been on for? I'll be on for maybe another hour and a half or so. I would like to be earlier than that if I can move at a good pace. But yeah, maybe another hour and a half or so, something like that. I think I have technically three more songs. Let me double check. Yeah, three or four, depending on what I have time for. I do have some stuff I got to do tonight. So probably, yeah, 3 or 4 more songs. Boom. Yeah, no popular artists, but if you are still under 15 years, that's crazy. Got you. It is here. MP3 by Drawing Room. Let's get this downloaded. Let's get it downloaded. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, Sunday Stevens, I see you. If anyone wants to submit, go to my profile. Click on the. I was like, what do we do? Go to my profile. Click on the link. Just read through and follow the details there. You can check the line over on the other platforms that we are live on. I would like to resend my song. I've tried balancing it out. I want it to be good. Yeah, I got you, Blue. I got you. Yeah, we'll be here. We'll be here for a little bit. Obviously, you know the deal. It just kind of depends on where you want to be. This piano gets me sounds too clean. Thank you, Ro. I love it. I mean, for those of you who are curious, just, it's the Ravel. It's the Ravel piano by Universal Audio. I like it a lot. Just as like as a clean one. I've been trying to balance it out. Good. Okay. I'm glad that you're able to look at that a little bit. Do you feel like you've had some success with trying to balance it? Let me know. All right. This is Drawing Room. It's called NW, I believe. Let me know. This is Drawing Room. Yeah, go ahead and drop the song name in the chat. Is it just NW Northwest? Is that the name of it? Let me know. But let's get it running. Give me some details. Give me some context. New World. Okay, that's right. It's a separate email. New World by Drawing Room. Let's get into it. Distribution for this. I know. Good underlick right there. Good line. Great lead. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Amazing. Beautiful. Y'all show some love. Show some love to The Drawing Room. That is called New World by Drawing Room. Let's run it from the top. Let's dig into some of the details here. This is a really, really nice structure. Great song. Really powerful lead vocal. Great cut and slice from that. Sounds absolutely amazing. So let's dive into some details here. But y'all give it up on time for Drawing Room. I've heard their music before. They're incredibly, incredibly talented. And let's dive into it. We are not listening to popular artists in here. We are listening to independent and underground artists. So please don't spam the chat. Otherwise, you will get muted. And I don't want that to happen. I want you to be able to communicate with the community. So definitely make sure that y'all are not spamming the chat. But if you would like to send music that you have a connection to, that you make, or you know someone that makes it, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow the details there. Just make sure that you check the line order minimums first, which you can check on the other platforms as well. Let's get into it. This is in W. This is New World by Drawing Room. Let's get into it. Love the energy. Damn good drummer, and that bass player is locked in the pocket. The vocal mix is a bit over the place. The energy is amazing, but it's not consistent in the mixed delivery. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. And I don't know why it does this, but for what maybe someone else does. Whenever so sometimes people send an MP3 or a wave, and when I play that, if I download and play that file, it plays it in the Apple system, right? Plays it in the like iTunes system. Just that's their player, their music player. And when I play it the first time, it's super loud. When I play it the second time, every single time, when I play it the second time, it's super quiet. I don't know why. So this is as loud as I can make it now. And I don't know why it does that for whatever random reason. I have no control over the volume. It's still the same loudness as it was a second ago. I don't know. I don't know why it does that. But anyways, this list is going to be a little bit quieter. Just always does that. What's up, Hey Gun? Welcome in. Do you have volume normalization on? Is that like in iTunes? I don't know. Hold on, let me see. I don't even know. I've never messed with the settings on here, so I'm actually not sure. It's Apple's auto loudness compensation. It has analyzed the song and balanced it against your library. You can turn it off, I think. Okay, hold on, let me see, because that's super annoying. That's super annoying. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at it now. So the playback. Oh yeah, sound check. Yeah, we're back. Oh, there she is. Hell yeah. Thank you so much for that. Joseph and Ro, I appreciate you a lot. Yeah, but I can't. It makes it super, super quiet. Hey, Gun, if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the, don't spam the chat. You'll get muted. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through the files. I can't talk, y'all. Read through the details there. You can find all of the information there. But don't spam the chat. If you can spam the chat, you will get muted by a mod, and I would hate for that to happen. I want you to be able to communicate with everyone. So stop spamming the chat. If you would like to submit your music or music that you're connected to, go to my profile and click on the link. But yeah, when I'm going back through, I still want to be able to like listen to things. Sometimes it makes it really quiet, and I'm trying to listen to like this distinct detail. So okay, we're back. Thank you for the help. That helps a lot. That helps a ton. Okay. And I love this. So you have this. You have this really nice. I love it. I really like that lead line right there. It's very static, but I really do like what it's doing. Bayu, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, if you want to submit, go to my profile. Yeah, Jupiter. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the steps. Hey, Gun, you are officially. Let me see. There we go. Okay, let's. The song's releasing on Sunday along with a lyric video. Okay, this is in distribution. This is ready to go. This is already in distribution, ready to go. Okay, let's run it then. Karama, thank you for the roses. I like a lot of the processing of the vocal here. Like there's some great movement, some ping pong delays that are automated in the background. There's some things that I really, really like around these vocals and some of the elements that are happening in the background that I think are done very, very well and very tastefully. There are some times where I think that the vocal dives in the mix a little bit, specifically in the hook, right? Obviously the verses clear out a little bit. There's less percussion. There's less of that double track kind of energy. You go to a palm mute a little bit as well. You get a little bit more clarity out of the mix during the verses. During the hook, it just kind of dives because there's so much energy there. I kind of wish that there was more space for the vocal, and or what I think is actually probably maybe a more consistent support layer for that vocals would be a third note harmony. There's some really, really nice lead vocals in here that are very well done. And vast majority of this is very well mixed. Relationship between bass and drums is fantastic. Double track guitars are really, really well done. Lead guitars are clean and crisp. There's a lot I love about this. There's a lot that I really, really enjoy. And then I really do like that lead vocal as well, but I do kind of wish there's an octave that supports it. So you have like your lead vocal really powerful at the top. You have a low octave that is definitely kind of supporting it in the background. And I wish that on the hook, there was like that third note to give it a little bit of a lift. That's like the one little detail that I wish supported the vocal a little bit more. Besides that, I mean, it's really, really, really well done. I want to back it up here just a little bit.
Felt brand new, dust on the window.
Like through most of these verses, it's pretty clean. That vocal feels forward. It's supported really well. And like I said, a lot of the automation and some of these background movements I think are done very, very well.
Glitter in the afternoon. Same blue sky for brighter.
See how there's no AGDG. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. There's no new information added to the vocal right there. It's kind of you have your lead and then you have your low octave, but there's no new like chordal information that's added in, right? So we're here.
On the window. Glitter in the afternoon. Same blue sky for brighter.
Like that's the stack that that's the stack that like my brain really wants to hear to like support the chord of the vocal right there. Thank you for the harmony. I appreciate it. To give it the energy, give it the life that everything else in the production structure already has through the double track guitars, the heavy drums, because those are all mixed together beautifully. That's the one little support element that I kind of wish existed there, but it's a really, really good production structure. Like I don't think it takes away that much. I just do think it gives that vocal some like layers. It gives it obviously some support against all of the loudness and amplitude of the rest of the production. If anybody wants to submit their music, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details. We'll be winding down here in just a little bit as well. But I still have time for, I think, 3 or 4 songs. So if you want to submit, find all of the details at my profile by clicking on the link. If you want to check the line, which I would encourage you to do, you can go to the other platforms that we're live on, which you can also find at the link as well. Yeah, exactly. So when you get into that hook, you have the lower octave, but since that lower octave is following the exact same like melody structure of the vocal, it doesn't add any new chordal information like a third or fifth note would, right? It'd be like, as opposed to like the third gives it like a completely different texture and energy and amount of support because the brain hears different information as opposed to hearing slightly different but largely the same information an octave lower. So the octave I would keep for sure. I think the octave is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, but my brain still wants to hear that third note because that third gives you just fresh information. Plenty for live performances. There's only the 2 of us. Yeah, so I mean, if that were the case, then I would bias towards the third, to be honest with you, as opposed to right there. If there's only the 2, then I would bias towards a third versus an octave, because that gives you more fullness than the octave will. Just because, yeah, I agree, Ro. Yeah, so if you're planning, and again, I appreciate that. So I appreciate that you are keeping in mind live performances and having as close of a translation from studio recording to live execution. I think that's brilliant. I think more people should do that because there's a lot of people who can't execute what they're doing in studio live, and that makes it really challenging. If you were to bias one or the other, I would bias towards the third because it's more information
tonally, it's more information within the chord than the octave is. Like the octave is great in studio, but you will actually get more of a vibrant sounding live performance and studio having a third, just because it gives you that chordal information as opposed to just the octave, which just doesn't offer as much to the mix. So I would recommend, even like you said, if you're wanting an accurate translation from studio recording to live performance, I think you can still have an octave in there. You can still tack it in as a background track, but you're going to get so much more energy from that by having a third. That's, I mean, my loose perspective as well. There's some great, I mean, again, verses, super cutting, right? With a harmonizer pedal on stage to get that third. Yeah, you can easily, you can, Rose talking on the other platform too. You can absolutely have an octave underneath the vocal, a harmonizer pedal, get the third. You can still get the third in either one, right? You could have the lower octave doing the third note with the third note harmonizer. There's some really fast, low latency harmonizers. Like TC Helicon has some. You can do a lot with like $200. There's a lot that you can do for a pretty cheap price. So anyways, even if you're planning on live, that third harmony in this genre too, that third harmony is almost like vital to the energy of the record. So I would definitely keep it in mind on your future records. If you're going to bias one way or the other, you're filling in a lot of low information with guitars and bass. You don't need a lot of weight right there. It helps. It's good for the vocal, but it's not as necessary as I think the harmonies are. Because when I hear that da 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 da, it just, to me, it sounds so clean. These verses are so clean, though. The verses are really, really well done. Like, it just, even if it was an octave lower. Hold on. Like even like the lower octave, that's a lot easier to sing. Could be valuable in the mix too. For whatever this file keeps throwing me off, but I think it's got some weird glitches in here. As soon as okay, I remember you, like where that vocal is sitting, I think is doing exactly what you want it to do. It's great, man. It's really, really well done. It's a great vocal, man. Come on. Powerful production. It's amazing. It's really well done. Great riffs. I mean, this is a recognizable riff. It's going to get stuck in their head. It's awesome. It's a really catchy song. Structure is fantastic. It's really good. That B section is so solid. It's so solid. No worries, yeah. Any fresh one I can play. Y'all, give it up one time. Give it up one time. That is The Drawing Room. The song is called New World. I mean, amazing
Amazing, amazing job, man. It's dynamic, it's powerful. The production sounds absolutely gorgeous. It's really, really strong, incredibly dynamic sounding, man. So y'all please show some love to the Drawing Room, who's right here in the chat. Go stream their music, go follow their pages, go like tracks, add it to your playlist, all that fun stuff. This song comes out, I think they said this weekend, right? Or very, very soon, like within a couple days or a week or so. It comes out very, very soon. So go stream it, go add it to your playlist, go follow all of that fun stuff. Really, really nicely done. 100%, bro. All right, let's keep it moving. I'm trying to move. We got Mckay in the building. Mckay, you finally made it. I've got your updated track right here. Mckay, give me all of the details. Drawing room right here in the chat. Comes out Sunday. Show them some love and support. Follow them everywhere. Y'all know the deal. Go boost their algorithm. This is Mckay from Accounting. Mckay, give me some background. Give me some details. A week in the waiting. It's time, man. You finally made it. Finally made it. Quick reminder, if you want to submit, we'll be closing the line soon. So if you want to submit, now would be the time to do it. I need to update the minimums. We got like 2 or 3 songs left. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details. These are 20 to 30 minute consultations. These are deep dives into the structure of your music. So if you're looking for some tools, you're looking for tips, you're looking for long form, multiple listen, actionable feedback on the structure of your music, that's what this live is all about. Let's get into it. We got Mckay in the building. This is called My Sound. Mckay, give me all of the details. This is a fresh email, so if there's details that were in the old one, then let me know right here in the chat over on the Red app really quick, so I can make sure I see any fresh info that I need for this track. But let's get into it.
You know I'm starving for your loving. Yeah, what can I say to you? I'm the same, yeah. Must have run into you somewhere along the way. I feel like I found myself. I feel like I found myself. I feel like, yeah.
I like this, man. It's a cool production too. Cool voice.
I just want you to stay if you want to, but I'll take you today and any day. I can
2 tracks left, y'all.
that body all over me, like sunshine, baby. Body all over me, like blue jeans, baby.
You produce all this? Yeah, give me some details, Mckay. Give me some. I need some details. Talk to me about the production. Talk to me about the mix. I'm assuming you mix this all yourself or produce it all yourself. Really cool, Mckay. Really cool. Y'all show some love. Quick reminder that the minimums are updated right now. So if y'all want to check the line, which I would encourage you to have open throughout the live, the line's open on the other platforms that we're live on right now, which you can find at my link. The line's, everything's been updated over there for new people that are submitting. I got 2 more songs after this. So if you want to submit, you can, but it's going to be a limited number. If anybody does not get heard, as it states in the structure, as it states in the whole form that we have there, if you don't get heard, you're always saved. We will never listen without you. We will always make sure that you are here when you get your breakdown. Sometimes we have to save a couple songs for the next live stream. I will be live, hopefully longer tomorrow, ideally. Hopefully live longer tomorrow. Excuse me. Allergies, man. Hopefully I'll be live a little bit longer tomorrow so I can get through quite a few more songs. We've had some people on, like Mckay, who's been here for a while, been waiting for a couple days. And so if I have to save you, it's perfectly fine. I'll make sure that you're saved to my list. We'll throw you up the next time that you're able to hop in again. Okay, let's run it from the top. This is Mckay in the chat. Mckay, I want some context. I want some details. Give me some details here. Talk to me about the production. Talk to me about the mix, the role that you play in this track. It's really cool. I do everything myself, just Logic, my instruments, and I. Let's get into it, man. Let's dive it from the top. This is really cool.
You know I'm starving for your loving. Yeah, what can I say to you? I'm the same, yeah. Must have run into you somewhere along the way.
Only thing that so I mean I like a lot of what you're doing here stylistically and creatively. I think it's really engaging and it's really interesting. You have some interesting movements and interesting formats and stuff that you're doing here that I think are awesome. The only thing that I would say is it's difficult at first when you're first listening to the song as just as a consumer, not even as a producer, right? But as just a listener to the music. It's a little bit hard to find the rhythm because you're dealing with some like slides and syncopations in your vocal. They're offbeat and then back on and offbeat a little bit. I mean, as a musician, I love what you're doing. I think it'll be hard for people to like sing with you though and learn it with you and kind of understand this intro to the song. So I think it could be nice to have just something in the background, something at all. It could be a bass, it could be another guitar, it could be just like an acoustic or even like it's in D sharp, right? So even just like one note that's just like carrying the rhythm or something like that, that is helping kind of like guide the listener through this intro so that it doesn't feel too confusing because you're da 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 da. Those syncopations are just hard to catch on to if there's no rhythmic structure that's like kind of pointed in the right direction. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here in the intro because I like the sound of it a lot. I like the sound. This time, yeah, you can still send in Blue. Yeah, it's up to you. I got 2 more songs right now. That's Nova and Horacing. Currently speaking, Nova and Horacing. I make music for other people. Yeah, that's valid too. That's valid too. I'll double check in a second, Joseph. That's valid too. If you're producing for other producers, that makes sense. It can sometimes just make it challenging to reach a broader audience though, right? We're like, ooh, that's an interesting syncopation. I'm trying to find the one. I'm trying to find the footing there a little bit. And that, that can be cool for creatives trying to, figure out what you're doing. It can be very difficult to like get outside of like the 8 people that will really impress that are around you, right? And go to a broader field, go to a broader audience. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about and what I'm listening for. So, there's a lot of different ways you could do that to still create the vibe, right? And still have some texture in there that connects people and grounds people a little bit more.
You know I'm starving for your loving. Yeah, what can I say to you? I'm the same, yeah. Must have run into you somewhere along the way.
This is so subtle. This is why I'm saying you can do it tastefully. You can do it tastefully. I'm literally just doing that in the background, right? So like,
You know I'm starving for your loving. Yeah, what can I say to you? I'm the same, yeah. Must have run into you somewhere along the way.
I don't like this piano sound, but you get the idea. That sounds nasty. You don't want that. So like you would go, I'll show you kind of exactly what I'm thinking. Let's go earth piano, dark felt. Boom, boom, boom. And this is a really subtle way that you can, yeah, I agree, Krista. This is a really subtle way that you can do it without it being too much. So you could kind of go here. I'm going to take off this chorus. We don't need the chorus on there. And then let's go. No, not that, Jesus. This is just, and we'll drop a reverb on there just for the sake of. There we go. This is a little like softer piano, right? So even just from the top, and this is one of the few things because I really like your style.
You know I'm starving for your loving. Yeah, what can I say to you? I'm the same, yeah. Must have run into
You can just go D sharp to D or E flat to D, right?
You know I'm starving for your loving.
That's both together.
Yeah, what can I say to you? I'm the
same, yeah. Must have run into you somewhere along the way.
Off. Right?
I feel like
Beautiful, right? And so what I'm doing, just for the sake of you knowing, right? Dude, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for that. What I'm doing, just so you can kind of get an idea of it, is and you could choose this how you could make this dustier. You know, you can make this a little bit darker and moodier, but it's just E flat, both with the D. So E flat and D. And then at the end, you can go to the E flat and C. And that gives you a little bit of that.
I'm the same, yeah. Must have run into you somewhere along the way.
And then let off the gas as soon as it ducks, right? So you could do it a different way. You could do it with another guitar. You could do it with a little plucky synth. You could do it with like a little Rhodes. Piano works too. I would just gotta really tuck it in. I don't want it to be obvious. I don't want it to be at the forefront. I just want it to be some glue that tells people where to go. It's a little bumper rail for people to consume this, right? It's a little bumper where, like, if you're listening to it, you can settle a little bit more. But to the average person, it still sounds interesting and weird and quirky and a little bit more nuanced than maybe the average record. But you're still kind of guiding them a little bit. You're still kind of giving them one little thing to just kind of, point them in the right direction. I'm a pianist at heart. I feel 100%. This would be nice with this is really clean. This is a Roland piano. This is really clean. You could do this with like a dirty upright sound. You know what I mean? Like Spitfire has one that I use all the time called, I think it's called Broken Upright or something like that. That would be nice. That would be, something that's still a little dirty, because that guitar is a little dirty and I like that. Something a little dirty, a little, it's got some detune to it, a little modulation, I think would be great. So you get the idea. Let's get into the main song here.
I feel like, yeah.
Beautiful. I love all of this sound design here. A little like Johan Lennox a little bit. Great artist if you haven't heard.
I just want you to stay.
There's so much I love about this. The positioning, the stacks right there. It's really nice. McKay, I like this. I like this a lot.
If you want to, but I'll take you today and any day. I can get that body all over me, like sunshine, baby. Body all over me, like blue jeans, baby.
Good automation on your reverbs too. Like, again, there's a lot of movement here that I don't want to change at all. Great little switches on and off between your modulation, your reverbs, your stacks and stuff like that. You're doubling. I like that a lot, McKay. It's really, really cool. It's interesting to listen to. It's really engaging. This is like a good like album intro. You know what I mean? Like this is a good like EP intro or album intro where you're just showcasing kind of like the aesthetic of your music without it necessarily being like a pop record that is really consistent with the drum structure and stuff like that. It's a good intro track. Love like the really like simple organ textures as well as like sine wave leads and stuff. It's nice, man. It's really tastefully done. Good sampling. Have you heard Johan Lennox? I want to hear this breakdown again. Really nice. And fairly simple. What's up, Brando? Welcome in. It's fairly simple, at least perceptively simple, right? Like there's still a lot of layers and stuff, like some layers and stuff in the background. But the structure of it's really, really nice. You're filling out beautifully without 80 tracks. You know what I mean? Like you have a smaller track count doing a lot of like heavy lifting in this mix. And I like it a lot, man. It's really, really well done.
sampled my own voice on that. Beautiful, dude. I'm a fan. This is really, really well done. I really don't want you to. I don't want you to change a lot of what's going on here. Like those little structural things early on to just make sure rhythm gets caught. But a lot of the processing that you have here, I think, is really, really dynamic. I think like on your master, excuse me, on your master, I feel like you can start to lock this in a little bit more, maybe add in just a little bit more color and texture, a little bit more like maybe some light, you might already have some light saturation in addition of some light harmonics and saturation on the master. Maybe give this a little bit more color and texture so it doesn't feel too direct. A lot of your individual elements have this really nice soft analog feel. So it could be nice to push that even farther, dial it up even farther on the master to just give it a little bit of weight, a little bit of harmonics, a little bit of, distortion, nothing too obvious, but just enough to kind of glue it all together, push it a little bit. Might even let you, push it, your master another couple dB higher as well. But whenever you get off here, I want you to look up Johan Lennox, When the Morning Comes. Check out that track. I feel like you'll really, what's up, Sands? I feel like you'll really relate to the production structure. Jesus. It's really, really cool. And I would look at some, I don't like a lot of his music, to be honest, but that particular song has a really, really interesting production structure that I feel like does a lot of what you're looking for here. I'm mixing on Apple Maxes. Appreciate your ear. I would like to have you mess with it. Yeah, 100%. If you want me to just do the master, I definitely can. Shoot me a message, McKay. Mastering is much, much, much cheaper than the full mix. Full mix and master, it's a much shorter process, so I can push those out a little bit easier. As far as opposed to like maybe a couple days or even like a long day on the mixing side. So a lot of your balancing here is great, but if you want to kind of get into the nuances of the master, I can definitely beef that up for you because it's a really, really good structure. I like it a lot, man. I really, really do. Because even that piano can probably come in brighter. It can come in a little more, like I almost want to hear this, like, it doesn't have to be a choir necessarily, but I want to feel this fullness right here that I think would be really, really nice to just wake up the mix right here, make this moment even more dramatic, because it's such a cool pocket of the song. I think we can dramatize it even more by opening up that piano a little bit, even depending on the plugin, having it format up a little bit, brightening that up so it really cuts in a ton of energy. I love that you sampled your own vocal here too, man. Beautifully done. Love it, man. Love it. Dude, amazing. Dude, I'm a fan, McKay. Thank you for your patience, man. I appreciate you sending this in. It's a really, really strong record. Very, very well done. I love the dynamics. I love the movement. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think it's really, really well structured. Very, very well structured. Y'all please show some love to McKay from Accounting. They're over on the Red app right now. McKay, love and appreciate what you do. You're very, very talented. I'm excited to hear more full song structures from you. This is awesome. This is in any way that I can help you out. Obviously I will, man. Very, very, very nicely done. Give it up one time for the family. We got 2 tracks left, y'all. 2 tracks. Let's close it out with these last 2. Currently speaking, that's Nova and Horacine. After this one, we'll close the line. We got Nova in the building. I appreciate you so much, McKay. Appreciate you a lot. We got Nova in the building. Let me see, or let me just double check a few things real quick. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything because I think. Okay, wait, Joseph had sent in a minute ago. Joseph, when you had sent in, let me just double check real quick. When you had sent in, Joseph, we had already raised the minimum, which is why I tell people to definitely make sure you have the other lineup so you can kind of keep track of as things move. All that means is that when, as we get towards the end of the live, if people submit at a tier that's too low, I know I won't be able to, like, we have 2 songs left and we have 7 people with 10 or something like that, right? And you submit at the 8th, I know there's no chance you can get heard because I have 2 tracks left. So I raise the minimum as we go just to make sure that everything is as easy as possible to submit. So you can still submit if you want to, but it would be another 5, I think. Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, another 5 if you want to get yourself a little bit higher. Totally up to you, or I can save it for tomorrow. Blue, you can still submit. Because I don't have credit from you yet, so you definitely can still submit. That's up to you. Oh, Jaya, I got you. No, okay, I did just get yours in, Jaya. You're set. You're ready to go. Okay, so give me 2 seconds here. I'm gonna keep the line updated here. I got you, Jaya. Sorry, I hadn't seen that come in yet. I just got notified of it. So let me just get that updated. Okay, 2 tracks left, y'all. 2 tracks left, 2 tracks. That's it. So keep your eye on the line. That is the order. Once again, if you don't get heard, you will you'll get saved for the next time that you're able to cut in, which is completely up to you. You can that can be tomorrow when we go live again, a little bit longer. That can also be next week, right? Like Mckay had been in for about a week or so before he was able to get himself in that get himself to the top right there. So completely up to y'all. Thank you for the follow title screen. I appreciate that. This is Jaya. So this is an update on a file I heard yesterday. So we should be able to move fairly quick through this one as well. This is Believe in Love by Jaya. So Jaya, we should be able to get through this pretty quick since we just heard this track. Okay, so currently speaking, it's Jaya and Nova. Let's get it up here. I got you, Joseph. I got you. It's still panned to the right. It's still panned to the right. I'm gonna drop it in Pro Tools again. Let me get this updated. Joseph, I got you. I appreciate you, man. There we go. Let me keep that updated. Yeah, line is current with one more track after this. One more track after this one. Currently that's Joseph. That's why, keep an eye on the line. I update it every single time I get a new submission. And currently that's Joseph. And then once again, just keep in mind that we'll be live again tomorrow as well. We're live nearly every day. I'll probably be live through this weekend as well, just inconsistent times. So if anybody doesn't get hurt, of course, you're always saved to my list. That way you can just hop in literally anytime you want to and get yourself back up on the board. If you don't get hurt today, I'm going to add 5 to y'all's as well. So if there's anyone in here that doesn't get hurt, I'm going to add another 5 to y'all so you can get a little bit of a bump next time as well. If you're not able to move up today, that way can help give you a little bit of a boost. My system's, so I'm really curious. I'm going to drop it in Pro Tools. Give me a second, because it's the same thing. Same thing. It's still pushing to the right. I'm kind of curious if could there be an issue with your headphones that you're using? Let me see. I'm going to drop it in Pro Tools and we'll look at it together so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Let me get it in here. Because that's not typical. That's not all of your, you can literally see it here. You can literally see it here. Let me see. So I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. You can see it on the actual file. Let me go ahead and I'll show you precisely what we're working with. So let me go down here. We'll go back to Ozone. No, I was thinking it's your headphones, but no, it's not. It's not the headphones because you can see it in the WAV file. So it's not just your monitoring. Something's off. Let's go here. Let's add our imager again. Boom. And let's switch. Boom. There we are. Okay. So you can see immediately, look at the waveform. I'm gonna zoom in on this. So let's go extreme. Boom. All right. Here's your waveform. So you can see this is your left channel right here at the top. Here's your left channel, and right underneath it is your right channel, right? So you can see immediately, but without even doing anything. Could we just the track I use? What do you mean by that? Yeah, what kind of track are you using? Because this is a stereo track, so there should be no issue, right? Like here's, just as an example, like I'll take this one. I'm going to make a jumbo. Boom. You see how these are the same? This is a stereo like percussion loop right here, like a percussion loop. You can see how they're the same. The left one and the right one is like an equal stereo channel right there. It's the same. And then you look at this one. You see how this one on the top is really small versus the one on the right. And then you can immediately hear the difference. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Whoops, I got to solo it. Then look at that, look at the meter right there. You can't see the meter on it. It's too far, but you can see in the meter that it's there too. But yeah, you can, it's happening in the waveform. So it's happening in your processing. Remind me really quick what you're using. Remind me really quick. And then y'all, we got one more song after this. I believe as of right now, I think we're going to close it up with Joseph. and then save. Anybody who's on the list will save, and I'll add 5 tiers. So let's see. Nova, Hora, and Krista, y'all will all have 15, except Nova, you'll have 20. I'll add it to yours as well. So y'all all have 15 next time you come in. Because you can literally see the imbalance. I don't even need to go. I mean, I'll go into ozone just for the sake of going into ozone, but you can literally see the imbalance. Look, there's that flip. Straight to the right. So everything right there is just running into itself again. So you're using Voloco. I'm just gonna, I can't spend too much time on that, but I'll look up something real quick. I just want to. What kind of computer do you have, or is it on your phone? You might be better off just using BandLab or GarageBand. I don't think you need to start completely over. There's just something happening in your master where it's panned to the right. I mean, because you can literally see in the waveform, you can see the left side is small, right side is big, and the panning's right down the middle, right? This is with my panning just directly right there. And then you go over here, and we look at ozone, and when it starts playing, you'll see it push to the right. Boom. Straight to the right. So something's happening in Voloco that's pushing everything to the right. I don't know if it's a mastering thing. I don't know if it's parts of the beat, but it's everything. So you just use your phone. Then you might want to there's GarageBand on your phone. There's BandLab you can get on your phone. I would probably, I don't know much about Voloco. You're actually the only one. Yeah. Actually, we heard the song yesterday, Ro. We talked a bit about that. Where it's all. Well, it's actually. Well, here's what's interesting is it's not fully mono because I'll bypass. Watch. You can see the mono signal. There is some. That's what's weird about this is there is some stereo information. Like you can see on the vector scope. There's this much, there's this much stereo information. So it is and when you can see the stereo file, there is technically stereo information there, but it's all been collapsed and pushed to the right 25%, 30%. So there's definitely something for sure happening. You probably should use a computer. I mean, if you have access to a computer and it improves your workflow, then definitely do it. If you don't, or it's just more difficult for you to do, then you can do this on a phone. There's something happening in Voloco. I don't know what it is. I'm not familiar with Voloco at all. In fact, I think you're probably the only one that's come through that I've heard use that, which is, there's probably a bunch of people that use it. I just haven't heard it a whole lot. I don't know if this is a typical issue, but you might be worthwhile to just like take all of your sounds, like just export all of your files, like export all of your sounds in there and dump them into GarageBand, just if you have an iPhone, right? Like dump it into GarageBand, dump it into BandLab and like reset your session a little bit. Yeah, try BandLab, try GarageBand if you have an iPhone or whatever. Try a different platform, but export each of your files. Don't export the master. Something's messing up on the master, right? Because as soon as you export, this is happening, right? Small left channel, big right channel, imbalances in your master and in your stereo field. So export each file and see if you can reset this and get it back to stereo. Because you can hear it, right? Like as we get through this, it's all the way over here. So part of, you're getting some of the, you're getting some of the clipping that we've already talked about. You're getting all of that information collapsing here, right? So all of your information is collapsed. It's all headed at you from the same direction. So you're getting all this additional clipping, all of this additional distortion. You're getting all of this mud from everything hitting you from the same direction, as opposed to, again, layers hitting you from both sides, distinction between your bass and your kick. Right now, it's all distorting. There's definitely some issues happening on the master. In fact, another thing you could just try if you want to mess around with it still in Voloco is is there a master in Voloco? Because in BandLab, there's not really a master. Like, there is kind of, but not really. Is there like a master fader or like master bus in whatchamacallit? Yeah, I got you. We got to get it right because it's an important song for you. So I definitely want to make sure that we get it right. Ba-da-da-da-da. All right, let me close this up now. Close. Let me move it over here. One more track after this, y'all. We'll move at a good pace. You can master in there. Okay. Do you have anything on the master? All right, closed up, y'all. Closed up. If you want to skip in the line, you can. You just can't add to the line. You can't bring in a new song. Do you have anything on the master at all? Let me know. I'm going to go ahead while I'm waiting for that, since most of that we've talked about. Most of the rest of it we've already talked about, vocal structure and stuff like that. I'm going to take this out of here. Not really. Okay. What I want you to do is if there's anything on it, I want you to take it off and make sure that it says your panning is 100% left and right. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I want you to double check a few things. For one, I want you to take everything off of the master. I'm going to go into the next song really quick. I'm going to go just so I can move at a better pace. I'm going to go into the next song. What I want you to do is take everything off of the master completely. 100%. It could be done. We just can't have it panned to one side, right? I'm going to go into the next song, but I want you to send me the file again. Okay. So you can go back into your phone and then send me a new file. Oh wait, hold on. It didn't pull up. One sec. There we go. That was back up there. There we go. Okay. So go back into the file, take everything off the master. And in fact, I also want you to just really quick. Okay. So take everything off of the master, but first send me a screenshot of the master channel. It's panning, everything, right? Send me a screenshot of that and send it in the email. Send a screenshot, send it in the email. Take everything off of the master. And I'm going to bounce around a little bit. We'll go to the last track here, which is going to be Joseph. And then I'll bounce back to that. We'll close it up with that too, so we can dig into it for another second. But I want to see what's actually going on. So send me a screenshot of the master. I want to see the panning. I want to see the plugins that you have on there. And then potentially take everything off and resend it. But start there. I'm going to go to Joseph. This is Joe Hoxton. We're going to go to Joseph, and then I want to go back to your song at the end just to see what's going on. Because all the other production stuff we've talked about, I just want to nail this down because it's going to bother me, and I know it bothers you, that for some reason it's just not clicking. So work on that for a second. We'll go to Joe, and then we'll jump back. Okay, so Joe, hop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me get this track downloaded really quick. This is Rapid Eye Movement. All right, let me get this download. We'll jump around at the end so we can go at a good time. There's Joseph. Beautiful. Getting ready to start re-recording in late April. I would like suggestions on arrangements and overall sounds, please. I know it's annoying, Blue. It's super annoying. So that's why I'm like, we got to find it. There's a reason. There is a clear reason why that's happening. We got to fix it. The band is I Alone. Song is Rapid Eye Movement. You have helped before, probably been 6 months plus. Well, welcome back, Joe. I'm so glad. Thanks for your time. Let's get it to you, man. Thank you for sending this in. I appreciate that a lot. Let's dive into it. This is Rapid Eye Movement, which is the name of the song. The band is I Alone.
Dream again last night. I was in a dark room.
Ooh, that's nice.
I was in a dark room.
Joseph is the last one, yeah.
I was writing in a book that said,
And then we'll be on long tomorrow. I'm probably early afternoon Central Time. And then I'm going to try to be on for hopefully around like 5. We're doing about 3.5 hours today. I'm going to try to do like 5+ hours tomorrow if I can. So it's going to be a long one tomorrow. Yeah. Close now, and then we'll open it back up tomorrow.
upon the table. Into the darkness I did look, and there I was able.
So these are scratch tracks, Joe? Or you're just retracking vocals? Yeah, I can see that. What's up, Derek? Cool. I like these chromatic movements. Gonna re-record the whole thing. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Structure's great.
A door then opened in a corner of the room. How the light shone in. I stepped outside the door. The room had vanished. Now the book flies from my hands, and I dug
This is really consistent, really good structurally. Nice harmonics. Yeah, the full recording is going to be nice. I'm excited. I'm excited. Hell yeah. Nice little arp right there. Yeah, really rely on the tones. I'm getting some ideas. Hold on.
I stood amongst the scarecrows, watching the storm blowing, listen to the thunder, lightning, and the wind. When morning broke the ground, no scarecrows could be found. Into the wilderness I rode to find the day. There's my home. A million scarecrows, 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 a million scarecrows.
This is nice. It's nice. It's nice. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's so true to the genre too. Y'all show some love. Jay, I got your email, so we're gonna check that out in just a minute. This shouldn't take super long because the structure of this, I think, is fantastic. I think it's really, really well done. I think it's tasteful. I think the actual energy of the track is awesome. A couple things I'm kind of looking for that I'm just curious about as we kind of talk through this really quickly is an identity for the production, like a little bit more of an instrumental hook. You have this. Right, you have the walk up from like the E minor to F major right there that gives you a little bit of an identity on the progression side, but it also could be a lot of other like darker rock songs and like shoegaze songs like from the 90s and 2000s. So I am curious on how over that progression from the E minor to the F, can we give it a little bit more identity? Maybe on the lead side, maybe on, maybe some other structure for the drums. How can we just change one? And I don't think you need much in this because I think the vast majority of this record, very clean, very well done, well performed. Just track it fully, get everything positioned well, get a really clean structure between both vocals. You'll be ready to go. I don't think this needs a lot of work at all. But I do want a little bit more of an identity before you get to before you get into the hook, where you get a more identity for the song. This early part, I think, could use a little bit more like specific locked in identity, so that as soon as I hear this intro, I know exactly what song this is. Right. So let's listen for that a little bit, and then I have another thing I'm dissecting a little bit on the pacing. So, whoops, got a solo.
Had a dream again last night. I was in a dark room, nothing above me but a light. I was
Yeah,
Into
definitely.
the darkness I did look, and there I was able. I wrote everything down.
I'm gonna run from the top. So let's.
Had a dream again last night. I was in a dark room.
I like the early. I do like the early introduction of the vocal. I do like that. So you hit it pretty quick.
Had a dream again last night. I was in a dark
Like obviously, when you fully track and mix, those vocals will be a little bit tighter. So I'm ignoring some things I already know are going to fix. I don't want to talk about things that you already are going to take care of. So like I know those vocals need to be tightened up a little bit. I already know that's going to happen, so I'm not worried about it. I like the understated feel of the intro. It'd be kind of cool to bring that back in for a moment in the last section as I could see you bringing back this like really low dynamic moment. There's a couple little pockets in here, so like where the pacing shifts a little bit right there, that it goes a little bit lower dynamically. So this is later on in the song. So I'll switch back over here because it's kind of nice to show the DAW. I'm looking at the song right here over in Pro Tools, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. This is late in the song, right? So here's like your intro right here. This is the intro. Right, and then you have your interludes here where the pacing shifts a little bit, which is great. And then you have this moment. So you do have a couple pockets in here where it kind of revisits some of those lower dynamics. And then the outro kind of bookends it right here. Let's get into this first bigger section here.
I was writing in a book that sat upon the table.
Let me listen. DAW's not showing. Oh, yeah, sorry. I only had it on TikTok. My bad. I only had it on TikTok. There we go. Yeah, we're back. We're back. Yeah, I was saying, yeah. So here in the intro right here, this little pocket right here has that lower dynamic, and then right in here,
Watching the storm blow.
you get that lower pocket again. Let's get into this main section here. Most of this I really like. I don't think you need to touch it too much.
I was writing in a book that sat upon
Is it like a brass? Is it like a brass?
I was writing in a book that sat upon the table. Into the darkness I did look, and there I was able. I wrote everything down. A lot was wrong with the world. What did I
I
see?
mean, most of this is great. Most of this is great.
Feelings get close, feelings get close.
So the da 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 da. Where'd my piano go? Where'd my piano go? Let's see. Hold on one second. Da. Right. So this little pocket here, like I'm curious if that was your hook, right? This. Like if there was like a clean chorus, like a clean phased electric guitar that handled a melody like that, or even like a piano in the background that handled a melody like that. That's a little sharp right here, but it gave you a little bit of the hook. Yeah, like it brought, again, like I'm looking for some like sonic identity for some of the instrumentation. So it'd be dun, dun. You could have like the. You might want to simplify picking patterns, right? Like you could simplify picking patterns in order to just have. Kind of build with it, and then that kind of gives you a little bit of this here. it gives you a little bit of that, like a little teaser. So whether it's like a piano or like you have a very clean, shimmery guitar, you have one more like kind of like plucked guitar, or just like a slightly more overdriven guitar underneath. Again, I don't want to get too busy. It can get kind of busy. So we got to be strategic with this, but just as an idea to, again, you're creating kind of an identity of the song with that hook of da 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 da. That kind of locks in that melody a little bit more distinctly. So then here, right? So we can kind of come back into. Kind of bring it back into play. You can have that, again, however you structure that guitar, piano, something else in the background, you can keep a little bit of that texture in there. Okay, the only other thing, I'm going to skip to this next part in here. I want to listen for the harmonics, and then like one other quick little thing, and then I just want to listen to Jaya's song for a second, and then we'll hop off. I like the pacing change here. When you track, this is a tiny detail, and I know this is not final, so I'm keeping that in mind as well. These harmonics are beautiful. I love the idea. I love what it's doing. At the same time, just make sure you get each harmonic really clean, because when you get a little bit of like the muting and the buzz right there, to me, it's like a little bit distracting, and it doesn't have that really like clean harmonic content that I would love to hear. So every once in a while, right? You get that little fraying right there, right in the background right there. If that's clean, gorgeous, beautiful, right? And you could even layer this with some other tones as well. But I love this idea of moving to some of these like open like chordal harmonics. I think those are fantastic, absolutely gorgeous. Keep doing that. It's a great change in pacing in the background right here too. See that? Just again, I know this is not finished, so I'm not trying to be annoying because it's like I already know you're retracking everything, but keep that in mind that this is worth comping to get those harmonics really, really clean, so that every time that it's played, it's really sharp and really clean, or muted exactly how you want it without any pickup buzz or any like fret noise or anything like that. I think that'd be really nice. Okay, mention that really quick. Now here's the last thing. I want to say. Then we'll go back to Jaya. Jaya, hang out in the chat. Make sure that you're close. And we'll run back to your song in the next 3 minutes here. I'm going to do something that I'm just curious about, and I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. Let's see here. Let's see. This might be horrible, and if it is, we'll move straight to Jaya. I'm going to listen for something.
I had a dream again last night.
Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. Before I do that, I'm gonna duplicate this so I can hear both. Yep, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so now we got both of these right here now. Okay, so on this one, just so I can kind of, I want to dissect this a little bit. Okay, let's see what's happening here.
I had a dream again last night. I was in a dark room. Nothing above me but a light. I was in a dark room. I was writing in a book that said upon. Wrote everything down. A lot was wrong with the world.
Let's go a little bit more. I'm intrigued by what I'm hearing. Let's see.
Yes, I did look, and there I was able. I wrote everything down. A lot was wrong with the world. What did I see?
Hold on.
Able. I wrote everything down. I was able. I wrote everything down.
5. Hold on. Switch.
I wrote everything down. A lot was wrong with the world.
Back.
I
the other thing I was listening for, Rose said, yeah, I endorse slowing it down. I kind of want it to be slower a little bit. And it's already a fairly slow, so it's not fast in any sense. I kind of want it to be slower. I want it to be like I want it to be drawn out in like slow motion, just like moving through sludge, grungy, distorted. Like I want to feel a little bit of that heaviness in there. I don't know how, but I'm just doing elastic audio here, so I've slowed it down, maybe 8 BPM, 10 BPM or something like that. And to me, mood-wise, vibe-wise, aesthetic-wise, it's offered me something that I don't know if I felt the first time that I heard it, which is like the pacing is a little bit picked up. I'm gonna go to the verse down here. I kind of would be proud, sludge, nasty, and depressing. It's facts, yeah, 100%. There's an older version on Apple Music that's slow. I don't have Apple Music. That's slower. Versus, I'm just A and Bing a little bit. It's slower. I'm kind of okay. Again, this is the last little thing I want to say here. So, like, if you for a very specific reason likes the faster version, it's giving you something that you want, then there's nobody who can tell you differently, right? I personally feel the song more a little bit slower, honestly. I feel it a little bit more. I feel like I'm settled into it, just the vibe, the darkness of it, the mood of it. I feel it a little bit more when it's like 6 to 8, maybe BPMs, maybe even a little bit more. I'm gonna go to this breakdown here because this is the distinction, right? Because this breakdown is fast. I'm actually gonna slow it down a little bit more. I'm being crazy. This is what it looks like for engineers. I'm being crazy. I'm gonna slow it down even more. I want to go to this transition right here because this is much faster in pacing. Obviously, this is much faster. All this right here, and then let's contrast that with this. Yep. Yeah, that feels good. That pacing, that's good pacing for the tom groove here. I feel like that feels like a really good pacing for that movement here versus. Yep. How much more like, strangely enough, how much more happy this sounds? Like, that's a very, very different aesthetic then. Now it's got more drive to it. We haven't changed a single thing about the performance or the mix. Obviously, at a slower BPM, your performances might feel different too, right? As you execute, as you play drums slower and play guitar slower, those bends are slower. The vocal texture is a little bit different. The way that you perform when you get it a little bit slower, I think it's different, right? So I'm interested in that. That's the last thing I wanted to say. I was like, let me drop it into Pro Tools. Let's slow it down. Let's see what's going on. Because I do feel like you can see how much I slowed it down right here. I mean, I added 30 seconds of length. That's long, whatever. By moving it down, it's slow. Slow. That feels like anthemic to me now. You know what I mean? Like that feels like, I can imagine a crowd of people, head banging, scarecrows, like going crazy. This vibe. Imagine another guitar solo out of the outro right there. Like, dude, come on. So crazy. So crazy. Again, still so good, but here. Still so good. Oh man, I don't know. Let me drop in a reader. Give me a sec, and that'll be the last thing. We'll move to Jaya. I think is it Key Detective or Auto Key? I can never remember. I get them mixed up. Let me drop it on this track really quick, and it should tell me at least closely. Yeah, let's listen. Oh, that's the wrong track.
So the new BPM, I don't know what the old one is. I'll drop it on here. Yeah, about 6. So is that 58? 58? Let's, I would say 58 to 60. 58 to, if you're to half that, right? 58 to 60 is going to be about your sweet spot right there. I like, I don't know. So I'm not here to like completely change the pace of your song. Right? That's up to what y'all feel. Try both ways and kind of see how it feels. But try to like 60. And again, this is your main section. The other section would be a little bit slower too. It's a different BPM, so you'd have to feel out, what that looks like. But your main section, your main hook, is about 60. But you could go to about 60. Yeah, 60 or 120, right? Go to about 58 to 60, something like that, or doubled for your main section and feel it out. Because when I feel like, that feels so great. That feels so energetic to me. Completely different feel, but honestly, I love it so much. Y'all show some up to Joseph. Joseph, this is a great song. It is a great song. It's great structure. It's performed well already. So the foundation of this is great. Just needs to be retracked. It needs to be formatted, gain staged, and mixed. Like get all that fun stuff there. You are ready to go. Try it out. I mean, because that's the power of change. Thank you, retrack. I appreciate you, man. That's the power of tempo, man. The power. I mean, just change a song. 2 semitones up or down. Change key. Change tempo, and it can transform the way something feels. The song is called "Rapid Eye Movement" by Eye Alone. Please show some love to Joseph. Joseph, I love what you do. Really, really quick for just like 2 seconds. I'm going to go back to Jaya's song. Let me see what's going on here. So these pictures here, this is your master. Jaya, just really quick. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, that's incredible, Joseph. That's great. Blue, these are your master, or is this something else? Let me see. I'm just going to look at this stuff real quick. Let me know. And let me listen to it. So I got that. I got those pictures. I see that there. None of that is so I guess they don't have like a master fader. It doesn't look like necessarily. Just these effects here. Compressors and stuff like that. So let me see. Let me listen to this really quick. Really, really quick. Still slightly right. So it's something in here. Let me see. Let me just look at this really briefly. There's your comp. If this is all in the master, that's interesting. I'm looking at this. So there's a compressor, multiple stages, it looks like. Gain reduction, the compressor, EQ. Scroll through. Okay, that's scrolled through. So the EQ there. Let me see. We are closed for today. We're going to be open again tomorrow. I'm just listening to this file really quick. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for because I'm actually looking at I'm looking at screenshots right now. I can't throw it on the screen, otherwise I would. I'm looking at the screenshots right now. There's the reverb mix 15. What's up, Time Mind? I'm doing well, man. Tomorrow afternoon. I'm Central Time. Central Time. Bree Squared, welcome in. Central Time. Yeah. Okay. So Jaya, if you're in here, if you're still in here, let me know. What you need to look for is if there's any other master control. So I'm seeing all the effects on there. I see, you know, effects, compressor, EQ, echo, reverb. The echo's off, so the reverb here. And I heard the dry track, and it's still okay. Perfect. Yeah. I'm going to assume maybe around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. I'm going to try to do some work in the morning and then go live for hopefully a long time. I'm not seeing any other controls on here currently, just in the screenshots that I have, but something else is happening. So what I want you to do, Jaya, is export all of your tracks. Hopefully it's not too many. Export all of your tracks and drop them into GarageBand, drop them into BandLab, and then export them from there, get a master from there, and see if it's still happening. Then it's in the tracks. If I can't imagine a world where you have created mono perfectly panned to the exact same place tracks on everything. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Something else is happening. I don't know if a plugin needs an update, an app needs an update. I don't know. Something is happening that's pushing everything equally to the right by 30%, right? And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So something in the settings is happening that that needs to be made an adjustment. So try exporting everything, see if you can't gain control again, and then export again. I think that's the first test you can get, because then you'll know. Then you'll know if you export each individual file and drop it over there. Then you'll know that it's not something you're doing in the file. You'll know it's something with, you know, Voloco or something like that. But yeah, show some love, man, because I want to get this fixed for you. I want to get this track is worth getting fixed. It's worth working through. Okay, y'all, that is going to do it today. That is going to close us out. I love and appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining the live stream today. For those of you who don't know, before we hop off really quick, my spiel, if you are here for the first time, or maybe you haven't been here very many times, for those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time engineer, producer, and session musician. So if you ever need any of those services, shoot me a message. If you need hardware, analog synths, live drums, vocals, acoustic, electric, or bass guitars, you need a producer, you need a mixing and mastering engineer, shoot me a message. I'll love to talk about the project, make sure that, you know, creatively we're a good fit. And then of course from there, budget and timeline to make sure we can work well together. Hopefully I'll see a lot of y'all tomorrow. I'm going to try to do a longer live tomorrow if I can, between some of these other projects. But I love and appreciate y'all. Hopefully we'll see y'all very, very soon. Peace.